The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Here we go. Feel Good Friday, October 25th in the spooky Thunderdome. My first time in person when it's this spooky. It's pretty scary, guys. Football was played last night. Obviously, we know the Rams pick up a huge victory. They come out, they win 30-20. There's a little bit of controversy in that game, but before we even jump into the controversy, Pat, man, you're at Memorial Stadium in Bloomington, Indiana, I believe. How you guys doing? What's it like? I know you guys took a little tour this morning. What are the vibes like, man?
AJ, that's a great introduction. There's a lot of controversy, and once again, we got blind-ass refs determining a game. Now, let's not get it lost that a punter put them in that position. Pinned deep, Sam Darnold gets his face ripped off. Safety, that game's over. Congrats to the Rams. Okay, congrats to the Rams. And Ethan Evans, who's an absolute dog for the nice pin, the coffin corner, if you will, in this spooky Halloween season, pinning them deep. And then a nice rake to the face 3 feet in front of a ref that doesn't get called. It's a safety. Rams guy says, oh, nah, I just ripped him. I ripped his head off. I'm probably going to get fined. Probably 15 yards. They're going to get a little bit of momentum. They're going to get 15 yards to continue this drive. They're going to come back. That's what the Minnesota Vikings do. Instead, Whitecap staring it down. Doesn't see a damn thing. Calls it a safety. Game over. Congrats to the Rams. Get a big-time win with a plethora of weapons, Boston Connor. Seeing Puka back out there was a beautiful thing. He is an absolute dog.
And Robinson. Two touchdowns for old Robinson coming out of nowhere.
Cooper Kupp, looking the way he looks. He said he's trying to go for the Undertaker look. Kind of looks a little Amish. He gets a touchdown in the first half of his big return. Now, you talk about Kyron Williams, you got Blake Corum, you got Matthew Stafford, you got all those weapons. You wonder to yourself, how is this team as bad record-wise as they are? Well, it's because they've had a lot of injuries. They've had a lot of situations, but they're gearing up for a big-time run here at the end. Happy for the Rams. Is Cooper Kupp going to get traded? You know, Sean McVay answered afterwards, I hope that's not the case, obviously, after what we were able to show last night. Whenever our offense is full speed, we're able to beat anybody, even that dreaded B-flow defense. Didn't look like it last night.
No, not at all, and that's why, you know, there's some talk that's going around with the Detroit Lions. Okay, we talked about it 2 years ago, maybe it was last year, the 49ers, after you play the 49ers, that next week, hey, you're screwed. You're getting beat up. You're getting roughed up by the Niners. Now it feels like it's the Detroit Lions. If you play the Detroit Lions, you're getting your kneecaps biting off, and then you're losing the football game the next week.
Yeah, it's because they beat you up, and that's Detroit football. That's what it is. So congrats to the Rams. Vikings have a mini bye week here after back-to-back loss. I've not lost faith in KOC, in the Vikings at all. I have massive respect for both teams that played, and that was a good football game. And we're pumped about that for Thursday night. Speaking of good football games, this town's not used to having those.
Yeah.
Okay, 52,000 plus are going to pack in this Memorial Stadium tomorrow to watch the Washington Huskies come in here and have to take on the undaunted Indiana Hoosier football team.
Yeah.
Led by Curt Cignetti. This Paisan Yinzer has completed an evolution of culture and mindset down here in Bloomington. They obviously have built this place up. They've spent a lot of money in the weight room and in the locker room. And in just 1 year, seemingly, Indiana University football goes from, nah, like a Brosio, into a, yeah, we are contenders in this entire thing. We got a chance to walk around it this morning. They're in the middle of upgrading everything, obviously. Whenever you win and you get people interested, you get money into the program. They have a lot of opportunities opportunity, a lot of space, a lot of good shit. Cignetti's brought a dog mentality here, and I'll tell you what, met a couple of the players this morning. They're all fans of the program, which is very cool. Obviously, we're in the same state, so them saying that, I feel like they feel obligated to do it. All of them are humble. All of them have this moxie and swagger about them. They've taken on the identity of the coach, and it's amazing how quick things can change, because this city, Bloomington, is a basketball town. Okay, IU, the Stripes, the basketball team has been something that people talk about for decades and decades. The hoops team, the hoops team, the hoops team, the hoops team. Deep in their soul, though, these people are football people. And all they needed was a little bit of a reason to get excited. Cignetti, Curtis Rourke, who's out. Jackson in, though. He's an Indiana native, backup quarterback. Second half last week, he got in against Nebraska, spun it, had 2 touchdowns. They got 2 running backs. They play power football. And on the defensive side of the ball, they are ready for anything. This team's awesome. This town is buzzing. And tomorrow, I cannot wait to feel that Hoosier power for game day, Con, man.
Yeah, it's going to be electric. Everybody's pumped. We ran into Terry, I believe.
Miss Terry?
Miss Terry, a woman who works for the Indiana
Not Saban.
No, not Saban's Miss Terry. Different Miss Terry.
We're talking educational assistance for athletics, Miss Terry.
Bingo. And she is a lightning rod, and she is so jacked up. This is probably the best football team they've ever had.
Yes.
Best coach they've ever had. You could probably argue since Bob Knight. This is the most buzz they've had around a men's football team, men's basketball team since then, probably. And it is awesome to see. And by the way, it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Bloomington this time of year.
The weather.
Foliage.
We drove down in a 2500 heavy-duty Rebel Ram this morning.
Hell yeah.
R15, rolling hills, the leaves are turning. This is the perfect time to be in Indiana because the weather this is phenomenal.
It's gorgeous.
It's like
perfect.
65 degrees right now, 70 degrees right now. It's clear. Well, there's a little bit of clouds.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
football
storm's
weather.
actually rolling in this way. That's Indiana. You just wait 10 minutes. It'll obviously change on the way out there. But this place is awesome. We're lucky to be here. Thankful to be here. Hey, Tone Diggs, what are your thoughts on how Indiana's doing, Tone?
Well,
hey, Tone Diggs, is everything? Where'd Tone go?
Is Tone taking a dump?
Yeah, Tone's got a case of the poops, I think, unfortunately.
Dumpy de joy.
Yeah.
Poops.
Yep.
Old Poops Tone.
He should be excited. A lot of Italians roaming around down here. I didn't know that. I didn't know how many.
Because of Coach Cignetti, is that why?
Yeah, reeks of cologne in here.
That's a good thing then, Con. It's a good thing.
Yeah, no, not when it's too much.
No, I disagree with everything Connor said. I grew up in Pittsburgh around all the Italians. Then I go to West Virginia. New Jersey kind of infiltrates West Virginia University. I think they get in-state prices. All Italians. I get drafted to the Indianapolis Colts. No Italians. You're talking culture shock. Absolute culture shock. And then Cignetti gets here. I think he obviously has a massive family. He brings in Sinceri, obviously, to be a part of the. There's Italians have infiltrated the Indiana University football team, and guess what happens? They win. This is remarkable. I think I saw a stat the other day. Indiana is the first team to start 7-0. In the Big Ten that isn't Michigan or Ohio State.
Bingo, yep.
I think that is literally what they're doing down here. It's remarkable. He has really flipped it on its head, and from what I heard, Ohio State's a little bit nervous. Ty Schmidt, is that what you heard too from Cignetti and everybody down in Bloomington?
Yeah, I mean, and how could you not be? You know, Sig Cignetti has done everything he said he was going to do thus far. Obviously, you know, Ohio State has that tough loss to Oregon, and now you're thinking, oh no, we cannot. I mean, hey, obviously, big game tomorrow. You don't want to look ahead.
Ohio State playing Nebraska. You're right.
Exactly. You got blinders on if you're Sig Cignetti. But in the back of your mind, you're kind of thinking, hey, listen, we've chewed up everything the Big Ten has had to offer. You know, so far, we want the big dogs. Okay, we want the big dogs. We want to put our stamp on this conference and let them know, hey, this isn't your grandfather's Big Ten. Okay, this is Sig Cignetti's Big Ten. And Indiana, guess what? They're one of the big dogs now.
Well, it's funny you say that because you talk to his players, and we've had a chance to do that here over the last, couple hours. It's like Sig is not thinking that at all.
No.
Sig is like, we got Washington tomorrow. Mm-hmm. We haven't done shit. That is kind of like Sig's big focal point. Halftime last week against Nebraska, we have a source. Sig. Inside that locker room at halftime that said Sig's halftime speech was basically like, you've done nothing. There has been nothing accomplished. We are nothing. That is his entire thing. 62 years old, leading this team in this resurgence down in this city. The stadium is beautiful. Mm-hmm. The stadium is absolutely beautiful.
Locker room, too.
Look at the Jumbotron. They put our name on the Jumbotron,
That's
too.
sweet.
I mean,
That's
that
awesome.
is.
Jeez.
Look at that.
Class.
They're taking care of us down here.
Who's your
They're taking care of us.
hospitality?
The athletic director was outside the game day meeting this morning. I haven't seen that at any other place we go to. The associate athletic director was welcoming us to town. I mean, it was like a full-on, hey, we're thankful you're here. We understand what's going on, and we're thankful. And they want to make it work. You know, they understand how this, because if you're a really good college football coach, okay, at like in Indiana,
Yep.
the thought is he's going to get plucked.
Oh, yeah, right away.
He's going to get plucked. He's going to get plucked. It's like, I talked to the athletic director this morning. He knows that that's possible. And he said, nah, we're going to do everything we can. And Cignetti, I assume he knows that that's possible. This is the only place that gave him an opportunity. And he's Paisan from Pittsburgh. I think there's going to be a sense of like, where back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. It was all on me.
All on me.
So I think Indiana's building something very special right now with Cignetti and with their program. And, you know, you don't see the football team be as heralded as great in here, but their basketball team has. So they're used to high-level athletics. They're used to figuring out how to make things happen. So we're pumped to be here. But let's get back to that game last night. And, AJ, I'd like your take on it.
Man.
Obviously, the Rams guy thought that was a face mask. He thought he completely blew it.
His hands instantly go to his head. And he's thinking, "Oh no, what did I just do?" Like, watch that. That's the ref should have seen that and like, okay, yeah, I might as well throw this thing because they. But so nobody, the refs came together, Pat, and they said they talked about it, but they still didn't throw the flags. You're telling me none of these refs felt confident enough to say yes, that was a face mask?
Well, how come there isn't like the assist, the replay assist?
Yeah, right away.
Yeah.
Like,
They brought that up. The Rams were one of the teams that actually they petitioned the NFL the last 3 years in a row for face mask. And I think, yeah, here it is. Face masks, blow to the head, and roughing the passer to be reviewable. So, like, that does feel like something that would obviously be, reviewable. But even any call at the end of a game, like any time something like this happens where it's a safety, right? Like a scoring play, shouldn't that be reviewed where they can
why can't we just utilize? Because they've been telling refs to pick up flags all year. Like, hey, after further conversation, which just meant somebody dropped in with a better angle and said, hey, nah, that ain't it. It's like, why wouldn't you do that on a primetime game, fourth quarter, game deciding? Why can't you just say, after further discussion, that was a face mask and we are going to go ahead and 15 yards, first down, Minnesota Vikings? It's like, I don't think anybody would have been pissed off about that. I don't think anybody.
Especially with the gambling. People were talking about how, like, hey, 80%, 90% of America's on this team. Get ready for a call to happen late in the game. I think someone tweeted the entire layout of basically what happened at the end of this game. Like, it's so simple. It doesn't make sense that there isn't some sort of, hey, let's throw the flag. Even the guy who made the tackle thought there should be a flag on this play.
Okay, so then obviously these refs talk to like 4 people afterwards. They don't have to do it publicly. They get to do it in private, and then it's all released, which is fascinating. You know, certainly fascinating.
Is that what a pool reporter situation is, Pat? Like, what does that even mean?
Yes. I think you get a pool of reporters where there's only a few of them. They get to ask the questions, and they're the ones that are allowed to report it. But the refs never have to face the music, to anybody else. Hand-selected pool reporters, I believe, Pro Football Writers Association. Yeah. They're the ones that get in there. They know the song and dance and that. And they just basically say, we didn't have anybody with good eyes on it. And I guess that ref right there, the white cap, could say that he didn't have eyes on it, but it's 4 feet in front of you, bud.
Dude.
It's 4 foot. And then they're saying this was the same ref crew that potentially a couple weeks ago missed a pass interference as well late for the Chiefs. I think. I read that on the internet.
With the Falcons.
Yeah, with the Falcons.
Yeah.
So, there isn't, look at it, this dumbass. Just so stupid. So
Didn't have a good view.
I can't take it. Like, there are so many good refs seemingly now than there have been in the past.
For sure.
But all you need is this moment to happen right here at the end of a primetime game. And all anybody's going to think is these refs suck. These are the worst refs on earth. And with the Justin Jefferson's not happy. No. He's obviously not happy.
That was an F-bomb, he said.
Yeah. No, I think he said freak.
No, I think he said it.
F dash dash dash?
Yeah, with the C and the K at the end.
Really? With the U right there?
Yeah, with the U in the middle.
You think that's what he said?
I'm pretty sure.
You think he did it?
I think he looked at his chains. He said, why'd I wear my chains? And then he looked at his helmet. He said, why even have this thing in my hand?
He said, I'm showing up playing my best. Sam Darnold's playing his best. The boys are laying it on the line. How come these refs can't play their best ever, seemingly? But that's the problem. One of these calls will kind of paint a picture that these refs are bad. They haven't been bad. But situations like this continue to inflate that conversation, AJ.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that they can't replay assist that, or it's not. That is a scoring play. You get 2 points for a safety. Every scoring play is reviewable. Conman said that earlier. It would seem the replay assist thing, it makes too much sense. But I think going into this game, if you remember Chuck yesterday, he was worried that the Rams were not going to be able to protect Matthew Stafford. I don't think Stafford got sacked one time. I know he ducked and dodged his way out of multiple, but I don't know if he officially got sacked that game. So that's a huge deal for them.
Matthew Stafford looked like a young man last night, and I think it's because he had a plethora of weapons, and him skating and shaking and then banking with Cooper Kupp right there was certainly a beautiful thing to see. But I think what Chuck was worried about is, are you going to be able to run against this Vikings defense? And nobody's really been able to run against them. Kyron goes, Blake Corum even got a little bit, and then once you're able to run, that opens up everything else. Brian Flores' defense has been, the talk of the town, as it should be with how great they've been. And obviously, they started out undefeated. They've lost the last 2. That's going to happen throughout an NFL season. But like what the Rams were able to do to him last night, you have to tip the cap once again to Sean McVay. That guy's a damn good ball coach. Matthew Stafford, we're the same draft class. He's 36 years old. I didn't know he was younger than me. He's looking good. He was running.
Yeah.
Then a little underhand Matthew Stafford toss to, I think, Kyron or Blake. It's like still doing it, still having a blast. And he's still got 4 or 5 years left if he wants it.
Absolutely.
That is real in the modern world that we're in. So everybody's talking about, Cooper Kupp getting traded. And Sean McVay said, I hope that doesn't happen. There was rumors that maybe Matthew Stafford's going to get traded. It's like he still has a whole nother career still. And if the Rams are going to be able to have all the plethora of weapons on offense that they have, they're able to use these young guys, get them some experience. You talk about the next couple of years for the Rams, maybe being really good with Matt if they hold everybody.
Yeah, and Puka Nacua. Before the game, I believe Rapture reported, hey, he's going to be in a limited role. That was completely wrong. But then you think about how Puka Nacua started the game out. I think he had 3 catches on this drive. Either way, he had 40 yards right off the bat. And it can't be emphasized enough. When you have a receiver like Puka Nacua who's in oosh, but then has that cool beard underneath the face mask, it just brings a different level of grit, I feel like. And the flow out the back looked fantastic, but he was all over the field. And then, of course, when they get down to the red zone, they go right to Cooper Kupp. It is a perfect matchup. And we talk about, of course, quarterbacks on rookie, deals, but having a guy like Puka Nacua on a 4th round, 5th round, whatever he was, deal, they don't have to pay him anything for 2 more years. They could go out, get a lineman, because obviously that's a conversation. They haven't had a great O-line. They could really, wiggle here in these next 4 years. And then you think about their record. They're 3-4. I feel like this whole entire week and last week we're talking about, hey, Rams season over. You might as well sell. Sell Cooper Kupp. If some team wants Stafford, get rid of his contract. They can easily go and look at that division. Still kind of wide open. 4-3, the Seahawks, they're number 1. They're even right now with the Niners. There's a chance they can go on a run here easily.
Agreed. Zito, if you could turn on the talk back here from Stadium back to you guys, that'd be great. There's somebody yelling at us here in the stadium. Good to see you. All right, absolutely. Puka Nacua did an interview afterwards. I love you, man. He gave a speech about how he was so excited to run through somebody's face again.
Yeah,
that Puka was jacked up about running through somebody's face. His hair.
So sweet.
I forgot how sweet the hair was.
It got longer. It got sweeter.
And then there was one time where it was in his face, underneath the helmet, and they got it out of the way. Puka looks cooler than ever. He seemed to get right back into the flow. I think there was a report that he was going to be limited. Is that
Yeah. He was going to play half the snaps or something.
That was not the case at all. I mean, that thing was wide open from the jump. And his interview afterwards on the Amazon late night show was I love this guy. We love Puka. Puka has obviously been very good to our program.
End of the program.
Seeing him back on the field was great. And if you're Matthew Stafford, man, why not? You can lose 6-7 games seemingly in the NFC and still have a good run with how balanced everything is on that side of the ball.
Yeah, we always talk about the depth of the NFC. You add the Rams into the depth of how good and how many quarterbacks there are that can go on a run. Stafford just gets forgotten about because of the fact maybe it's the East Coast bias and he's on the West Coast and there are, the Niners are in the division. The Seahawks are doing their thing. But the Rams, they put together a few of these games because the Vikings are one of the top teams in the NFC still. I think we all think, but he does this to a Flores defense. There is a chance here. And you look at that division right there. It is wide open with the Cardinals too. All those teams are in it. I mean, I'm not counting Matt Stafford out with what he does.
Pat, what did they do, though?
Son of a bitch.
Con, I don't want to cut you off there, but think about with Cooper Kupp now, if they actually were shopping him.
They're not.
They're not.
They're not anymore.
But I guess if you're the owner, you're the GM, you do have to make a decision. If you were seriously thinking about moving on now, you can't. Like, that would say hey, I'm giving up on the season pretty much. Obviously, McVay says, I'm really glad to have Cooper Kupp back with us, and I expect him to stay. I expect it to stay that way, but is that McVay's decision?
I mean, I would hope it's McVay's decision. And also, if you're Les Snead, it's like, hey, man, I thought our whole entire thing was screw the picks. Like, you want to trade one of your best players for a couple third or fourth round picks? Like, if some of these other guys like D-Hop or, anybody else who's been traded who's a receiver, Cooper, if they were going for like first and seconds, maybe then you could consider it. But why would you waste a Cooper Kupp, who you still have a couple years with, who's clearly, your quarterback's best friend, of course, Nine and Dahn. Fantastic podcast.
Yep,
but
great podcast.
Then also on the field, it's like, hey, he's his go-to guy. Yeah, there's that play, 3rd and 9, end of the game. Kind of thought that sealed it. They ended up having to punt it back. But like, it just doesn't make sense to trade a guy of that caliber when you're 3 and 4 still in it and can go on a little bit of a run here for a 3rd, 4th round pick and a conditional second one.
I just sent a text to a source says that could have potential knowledge on the situation.
Sure.
Never done this with this particular source, so have no idea what the response is going to be. Got the phone number, though. Now's the time to use it.
Have to right now.
Because the talk of Cooper Kupp going to another team, if you were another team, maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I don't know if Tony Dumps is back or not, but you see him have the night that he had congrats, Tony.
Shout out Dude Wipes.
Top front.
Dunkin' Spice, too. Dunkin' Spice.
Tony, you should see how many Italians just walked into this stadium over here. So many.
Just walked
in? The entire Cignetti crew just rolled in here, and I'll tell you what. Grazie! There's a lot going on. It is fantastic.
Bad hair.
Just let them know everything that Connor says, okay? Please just let them know so that they know how to treat him. But no, you guys talking about Cooper Kupp. I will never forget his time as a Pittsburgh Steeler this week. It was incredible. It was awesome. And there's no chance that they trade him now. I mean, you guys have talked about it. Kyren Williams has a touchdown in 10 straight games, and then you get back Puka and Cooper Kupp. And if Matt Stafford's going to play this way, and McVay's going to dial it up, and the Niners and Seahawks lose here and there, like, they're right in it, especially with the Cardinals. Just like Connor just said, there's no chance Cooper Kupp gets traded anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so. Especially the messaging that it would send. And I'm not saying there's Rams diehards. Hey, Dirty, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dirty.
Good week.
Thanks, thank you.
I'll tell you what. It felt too obvious yesterday.
Yeah. Sure did. But a lot of games have recently.
It really felt too obvious. And we had won with those obvious games. Yesterday just seemed too much. It was like too easy, it felt like.
Everyone back for the Rams.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't think we knew Puka was all the way back.
No way.
I think that was certainly
we didn't talk about that enough.
Kept.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think about that enough of Cooper and Puka both being back. Well, of course. Why wouldn't they go off?
But I watched the Thursday Night Football. They 3 of them picked the Rams. So it wasn't. I thought it was going to be just across the board.
Yeah.
Everybody was just on the Vikings, and I was going to be very worried about that. But it was like, once I saw the Amazon thing where, they had a couple Rams picks, and obviously Witt's there. Witt's a Rams legend, and a couple other people. It's like, I wonder if on the ground they got a sense that McVay knew that everybody was kind of thinking that they were done. And then he's a good coach. Mm-hmm. He's 38 years old. They talked about that. He's been there for 8 years, this guy. He's been through it. This is the next iteration of that team. Good for the Rams, and still in on the Vikings. Now, speaking about being in, how about D-Hop being in? This video that made its way onto the internet this morning from a D-Hop press conference with Kansas City, lightning. Foxy, run this thing, please.
DeAndre, what you've done in your career, what does it mean to you to come into a building that knows how to win championships and the approach that it takes?
It means a lot. It takes your game to a different level. It takes your focus, your drive, knowing that you're playing for something. It takes your game to a different level. I haven't played meaningful football in a couple years since we probably started 8-0 in Arizona. It takes your game to a different level.
Yeah, I haven't played meaningful games in a while, so it's nice to kind of have a little heightened experience and know that what we're doing this weekend matters.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what we talked about with D-Hop whenever people were talking about how he performed in Tennessee, how he was as a Titan. Haven't seen many D-Hop highlights in a while. It's like, well, I think you put him in a Chiefs jersey and in the middle of a story about maybe winning 3 straight Lombardis for the first time in the history of the NFL, all of a sudden the guy could potentially find his greatness again. A little bit more motivation. I love that D-Hop said that. Tennessee Titans fans aren't going to love it. And remember, there's a lot of people saying, hey, D-Hop, you chose to go to Tennessee. It's like they paid him the most amount of money. He did make a business decision at the time. But business is good now that he's back at Kansas City.
Yeah, business is good for Kansas City. This pisses me off, man.
Why?
I'm just sick of the Chiefs making trades. If you are a team in the AFC, we got to make a deal with everybody, like a group text maybe.
Let's shake hands.
All the GMs, hey, no more trading in Kansas City. We're done with this shit. Do you guys want to watch Kansas City do another parade? No. Do you guys want to try and win some sort of Super Bowl? No. So what's the deal here then? Why can't we trade D-Hop to, I don't know, like a I'm not going to say the Indianapolis Colts. You know that. But a Pittsburgh Steelers. You know? Okay. Why can't we trade him to a town? I'm not even going to say the New England Patriots because I would like to see D-Hop play meaningful football. Look how happy he is. I'm excited for the guy, and I want to watch him on primetime. So maybe a Steelers. Not the Colts, not the Patriots, not the Dolphins. Not a team that is going to stink as the years and weeks go on. But why the Chiefs?
Yeah. We talked about with Xavier Worthy when he traded with Bean at the end of the draft.
Bullshit.
First round, and Bean goes, I'm not doing it. It's like, you kind of did, though.
Why?
You kind of did, though, Bean. And Bean ends up making his own play for Amari Cooper or whatever the case is, and the Bills are at the top, so they're not thinking about, like, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're thinking about the AFC East, yada, yada, yada. But you're right. Anytime a great player is available, we all just assume he's going to end up at the Chiefs now. Mm-hmm. That's just how other teams need to step in.
For a 4th-round pick.
We don't need to just assume it's the Chiefs anymore.
Well, why are we hanging on to these picks?
Get rid of them.
Now. Go get a D-Hop.
AJ, you and the boys, take it away. We got to set up for a great Italian man that's about to join us here. But this D-Hop thing is a real deal over there.
Yeah, it is. D-Hop's awesome. But I want to ask Ty. D-Hop, what do you think he has left in the tank? He has a bunch left?
I mean, I think so.
With the Chiefs, it also depends on where you are. If you're a receiver, you so much depend on who the quarterback is and the team around you. But D-Hop with the Chiefs seems like an absolute no-brainer, and the guy has shown no signs of slowing down.
Well, and it's not like he's like a big time burner anymore. You know, like they're not they have Xavier Worthy for that. They're not expecting him to go out there and have like a couple 150-yard games and score a bunch of touchdowns. Like, I can't remember who mentioned it yesterday, but it's like they need someone to move the sticks, and that's what he's perfect for. He's got that massive catch radius, and I think just in general, like, he's never played. I mean, Kyler Murray is obviously dynamic and very good, but he's never played with a guy like Patrick Mahomes. And I think, I mean, you and Pat would know better than any of us, but like they always talk about it, like guys getting reinvigorated when you go from like a team that sucks to a winning team. But we're not talking about just a winning team here. Like, this is a team that you can firmly and confidently say, like, hey, they will have just as good of a shot to win a Super Bowl this year as any of the other elite teams in the NFL. So yeah, I think it's safe to say, like, D-Hop is he's a bona fide Pro Bowler. He's a stud. Like, he is going to be reinvigorated, and he's probably going to hit the ground running right away.
Bruce, how sick is it that Brett Veach can do a trade with a conditional pick, and the condition is basically just like, we're going to win the Super Bowl with this guy. Yeah, thank you. Real. We'll give you a 4th
rounder. It goes from a 5th to a 4th if that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, and with what the Chiefs are doing, and I don't know, when you go through and you think of all the studs that they have, it's just it's unbelievable. The Chiefs are going to continue to be the Chiefs. Pat, who do you have? You have a special guest I see wandering around the concourse up there.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let's not dilly-dally around anymore. No. We got a great Yinzer, a great Italian, a great ball coach, and a man that has changed the mentality of an entire state about their football team. Ladies and gentlemen, Curt Cignetti.
Yeah. Thank you.
Coach, it's an honor.
Wow, that was a lot.
Yeah, how about the rain? I like that. We wouldn't have it any other way.
You're raining on our parade.
No. No, we're bringing adversity, which is exactly what I think you want and would love for your team. Let's talk about this year here real quick. And I've said this publicly a lot. I've said it to you, and you said, nah, we're not doing any congratulations. We're only halfway through the race, yada, yada, yada. You have flipped the entire mindset of an entire university and state about football. How does it feel to sit here? Big Noon Kickoff was here last week. Barstool was here last week. Game Day's here this week. What is your expectations going into a season, and was this it whenever you get the IU job?
Right. Well, all that stuff's contingent on winning, which we have obviously a big challenge tomorrow.
Certainly.
Correct? But, yeah, my expectations were high. First day on campus, we had 10 offensive starters in the transfer portal. In 3 weeks, we brought in 22 transfers. They were all 2-3-year starters. Okay, I really felt on December 20th we had flipped the roster. Was very optimistic. And the culture shift started in the winter with the strength training program in January. Spring ball was good, summer was good, fall camp was good. We had to put it on the field. So we got a blueprint, a plan, a process, a way we do things. Learned a lot from Coach Saban and my dad, obviously, too, who was a coach. But when you prepare the right way and you have the right mindset and you're fundamentally sound in what you're teaching, there should be no self-imposed limitations. So, and I'd been through a turnaround like this kind of before when my second head coaching job at Elon, where they were worse historically than Indiana.
Was it 8-65 or 8? I forget the number. You gave the stat in a press conference.
I like to say they were 3-45, but they were 12-45.
3 sounds better.
Hey, you just sauce it up a little bit.
Yeah, why not? I mean, they had lost to the last place team in the league at home, their last game of the year, 47-7. So anyway, a lot of people there thought it was impossible, no chance. By then, I'd been a head coach 6 years, kind of knew what I was doing a little bit, right? We won 8 in a row.
No big deal.
Yeah, we lost to Toledo, who won the MAC in the opener, won 8 in a row. Now, so I equated this back in the spring to that. Now, the difference between the two, all those wins were went down to the last play. Here, we haven't trailed yet.
Yeah.
We haven't given up a point in the first quarter. I mean, you talk about handling adversity. We really haven't had any adversity.
Yeah.
Now, it's coming. It has to. Right? But, I think they made a movie once, Build It and They Will Come.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And
Hell yeah. Dreams.
Yeah, and here we are. And this is a natural process. Win, belief, success, fan support. And we're sold out for the rest of the season. And it was crazy here last week. And like you said, big noon kickoff, college game day. But, our guys in our organization have to stay focused on the things they're going to help prepare them to be the best they can be tomorrow, to give themselves the best chance.
Okay, so I appreciate the fact that you're old school, right? You're an old school coach, and you've been coaching a long time, but you have the respect of this new generation of guys. And you say you get, 3+ year starters, 2+ year starters in here, flip the culture, flip the mindset. I had a chance to talk to a few of your players here earlier today, and I said, halftime, what's Sig like? And they're like, last week, we're up against Nebraska. He comes in and tells us we didn't do shit. We have not done absolutely anything. It's like the mindset that you are trying to portray is radiating through your players. They say the identity of a team is normally the identity of the coach. Do you feel like these are your guys? It feels like it, right? And how quickly did you know that these guys were your type of guys? Obviously, a lot of guys from JMU, but a lot of other places as well.
Right. Well, we recruit a certain kind of guy. And when you take that many portal guys, right, they were all 2 to 3 year starters, production, overtime, high character guys that had stayed on the field, right? Knew how to overcome success, not be affected by success, overcome failure, persistent, right? Had the right stuff. So we had a lot of those kind of guys, a lot of good leaders. My job as a leader then is to develop them, right? Recruiting, development, retention, and create the culture, the mindset, the identity. Yeah, and you really start to see it develop. I thought in the opener, we flew around on defense the whole game. Offense, we started fast, didn't play good last quarter and a half, had a couple sacks, penalties, got behind the chains. Second game wasn't against a good team, but we really played well. And then went out to UCLA, and you just saw things build after that. And then, like the first game, we had a nice crowd, 40-some thousand. Come out second half, half people were going.
What are we doing?
What's going on here?
What are we doing?
Fair weather.
Yeah.
No, not fair weather.
Well, in that moment,
in that
moment, they were.
When you take over a program, to keep it simple, you got to change the way people think, inside and outside. But you got to have the results. So now we're selling out. They're here the whole time. And but we got to play tomorrow.
These are football people. They love their basketball, obviously. Always will. I've said this a couple times over the last few weeks. Basketball Hall of Fame, I think, is in Indiana. Indiana's been a basketball state for a long time. Bobby Knight kind of instilled it in everybody here. But deep down in their soul, Indiana people are football people, too. And they became Colts fans, obviously, when Peyton comes here. What you did is you woke up a sleeping giant, I think. And I think the world is going to see it tomorrow on game day. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, speaking of game day and all the stuff that happened last week, Pat mentioned, how do you block that out when it comes to addressing the team? Is it one of those things where, hey, yeah, sure, Big Noon and game day, they're coming to the city, but we don't care about that shit? Or how do you get them to focus in? Because I assume with social media, everything going on, it's hard to keep all those guys locked in on, playing the football game, practicing every day, being, watching film, doing all those things.
Yeah, well, I took my notes from last year a little bit, and I brought it up Monday, and I got an older group, mature group of guys that've been around the block once or twice. So, but I didn't dwell on it throughout the week in terms of what's going on here on campus, because I don't want to make it a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Our guys know what they got to focus in on. My job and the assistant coach's job is to make sure they do, and the practices have been good.
Before the boys back in the Thunderdome, about an hour and 20 minutes north of here, hour and 15 minutes north of here, have questions. Let's talk about backup quarterback. Indiana guy, obviously had a couple starts last year, gets a chance coming the second half last week against Nebraska, and you let him fly. First 6 plays, I think he's throws for 2 touchdowns. What are your expectations for Jackson tomorrow, and is he the perfect guy to kind of fill in for what Curtis Rourke has been able to do this far?
Oh, he's a real talented guy. He's got arm talent, and he can run. He's got good size. And, we've historically done a really good job with quarterbacks. Last 4 have been player of the year in the league. So found out at halftime that Curtis wouldn't return, and the team rallied around Taven. Everybody believes in Taven. And now he's had more reps to prepare himself better, for this game. And, he's good. He's a good player, and everybody believes in him.
Yeah, the Curtis Rourke got surgery on Monday, I guess, on his thumb. They're saying he could be a return as soon as next week, maybe the week after. Big one for Jackson. AJ, back in the Thunderdome, has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, I feel like now with, starting out 7-0 and changing everything in Indiana so quickly, now it's like managing expectations. Now, like, the standard is set so high. Is now where you guys, like, you truly see what team you have because you got out this hot start and everyone kind of expects you to win now?
Well, we don't quite look at things like you guys do.
It's probably good.
We got good
probably
eyes.
a good thing.
We got good eyes. We look at things good.
We approach every week the same, regardless of who we're playing and what our record is, because, what it takes to be successful doesn't change. If it changed from one opponent to the next, and there was a better way, well, then you'd be doing it that way all the time. So I think the key to the drill here is staying humble and hungry, eliminating the noise and the clutter, understand who you are and who you're not, and the things that have made you successful. And you got to put the time and the effort in on your preparation to give yourself the best chance. Or, next week's news is going to be what happens on Saturday. So you may be a hero this week or the past 6 or 7. You'd be a bum next week.
Yes, absolutely. And you're the only coach that would stand out here in the rain with us.
Yeah,
in the entire. You're the only undefeated coach, certainly, that would stand out here in the rain with us. I want to let you know.
Well, I grew up in Pittsburgh, and but I spent 6 years in Indiana, PA, and I'm used to clouds and rain.
IUP, obviously, a lot of time. Speaking of that, Tone Diggs, Western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh Paisan, has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach. Elijah Surratt leads you guys in receiving. Tyson Lawton leads you guys in rushing touchdowns with 8. Aiden Fisher leads you guys in tackles. Mikael Kamara leads you guys in sacks. All those guys from JMU. They've all produced for you at IU. How did you know which JMU guys to bring over? Because I assume there was a lot that wanted to come with you.
Oh, absolutely. We told quite a few no. And this, I got hired. It was a 3-day process, told the team, and never did it enter my mind that some of these guys would come. But, it happened kind of right away, and it was a close-knit group. They'd won 5 championships. They were close. They were close with the coaches, believed in the program. Plus, think about it. These guys had a chip on their shoulder. They're sitting around, why wasn't I recruited by Virginia Tech? They had something to prove. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how did
you too, by the way? Why didn't I get a job at one of these schools?
Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way.
Absolutely.
And, when my wife and I, Manette, talked about the job, whether to go or not, I said, look, I feel like I've done this thing a couple times before. It's just a little bigger stage. But in terms of how we all decided who to bring, who your best players are. You want to bring the guys that we had a lot of holes and a lot of needs. You want to bring guys that can help you win, that have strong character.
10 starters transferring out on the offensive side. I couldn't even imagine. Also on the defensive side, Ty Schmidt, Iowa Hawkeye fan, has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach. I'll be honest. Indiana doing what they're doing in the Big Ten right now. I think all Big Ten fans are kind of shocked, but obviously
say it, Ty. Say what you want to say. He's right here, bub.
A little scary.
Say it, Ty.
I'm not going to say. I mean, Iowa looks like shit so far this year, so I'm glad Indiana's not on the
Say what you want to say about Indiana. Say what you want to say about Indiana, though, Todd. Just say it. Don't beat around the bush. Just Curt Cignetti.
Well, I did say, hey, this is your grandfather's Big Ten. Okay, this is Curt Cignetti's Big Ten. Now, I did say that before he came on the show, but Coach, I am
Sig 10, the Sig 10.
Coach, I am curious.
Print 'em.
You talked about not really having adversity because you guys pretty much have beaten the shit out of everyone you've played thus far. As we get deeper into this Big Ten schedule, is there really anything you can do to kind of prepare your team or simulate like the adversity that you might face in a couple of these like potential close games down the stretch, or is it kind of just something where you have to take that head on when it happens in game?
No, the way we approach, we're very process-oriented, one play at a time, 6 seconds a play. Every play's got a life and a history of its own, fast, physical, relentless. Smart, disciplined, poised, not affected by success or failure. On to the next play, right?
Of course.
If you buy into that, right, the circumstances of the game don't dictate your behavior or your play. So, now, like you said, we haven't been behind yet. But, we've bought into that style of play. And I've had teams, our first Sun Belt Conference game at App State, after they beat A&M, we go on the road, sold out. They're up 28-3 in the second quarter. Our guys never flinched, no anxiety, frustration, turn the momentum, win the game. So, how are you going to respond when you're down 2 scores, 3 scores? I prepare them for that with my messaging in the winter, spring ball, fall camp. At some point you're going to be behind. No big deal. I mean, the only thing that counts is where you are at the end. And, and that's why I keep pedal to the metal when we're up.
Absolutely.
Because in this game, you can score points in bunches.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Things happen.
Yes.
So that's why, like you get up, like if you're going to preach high standards, right? Expectations, but consistency. High standards never compromise your standards. You get what you demand, right? Then in the fourth quarter, when you're up 3-4 scores, you can't lower your standards because you're up 3 or 4 scores.
No! Step on them!
Yeah, that's when I'm like a maniac.
Yeah, I heard you want a little ape shit last week.
Yeah, but I learned that from somebody. And
what was his name?
I can't remember. You know who.
Yeah, he's going to be here, I think, in about 25, 30 minutes.
But there's a reason for that. And at that time, I didn't understand that. Like, I learned so much from that guy. I learned how to win, right? I learned how to win. But I learned structure, organization. I could go on and on and on. And you got to commit to your standards regardless of the circumstances, correct?
Yeah.
And you can never lower them. The time to relax is at the end of the game. So great competitors, people that want to be great, never satisfied. Never. You're either improving or you're getting worse. You never stay the same. And if you're not striving, you're getting worse.
Yeah.
Because somebody else is.
Yeah, but when you're on that putting green at the house after a big-time win over Nebraska, you're having a good time.
Living.
When you're in that hot tub or in the pool, you're having a good time. You got all these Italians, maybe a little mozzarella, maybe a little Parmesan, any of that, prosciutto potentially, anything like that. That's when you're having fun. How many hours do you let yourself enjoy a dub?
24. I mean, I get home. We normally have 10 to 15 people that have come in for the game.
Yeah, of course.
And
we know how it goes.
Chill out a little bit, and then I'll be in bed pretty early.
Yeah, smart. Yeah.
Wake up in the office usually 6 or 7 on Sunday.
6 or 7 on a Sunday. Take a nap.
Watch ODK, right? Make a few notes. Get on to the opponent. Bring the staff in, and by 1 o'clock, we're on the next opponent.
DK, offense, defense, kicking game. Let's see what we did yesterday, and we'll continue to get after it. You knew that,
of
obviously.
Course.
Yeah, you talk about standards. We got to walk around the facility earlier today. Jeff Keeg gave us a great tour. Good guy. Been around like 25 years. Wanted to play baseball here. Wasn't good enough. Instead, decided to booze. That guy
had more fun.
That guy, Jeff Keeg, maybe had more fun at a Little 5 than anybody in the history of Indiana University. But he showed us around. Obviously, with success comes eyes and attention, but a potential opportunity to upgrade things too. Obviously, the locker room, great. Weight room is getting an upgrade, I think, as we speak. And then as soon as you guys got here, I think there was $1 million invested in the weight room and the strength staff and everything immediately upon arrival. What are your thoughts on Indiana, the facilities, and going forward at IU? Because obviously, you have a lot more eyes, a lot more attention, a lot more opportunity too, it seems like, from that particular department.
Oh, yeah. We have good stuff here, and we have a great commitment from the administration. And I firmly believe any P4 program with the right commitment can be successful. And when you do the right things in terms of the process, there's no self-imposed limitations on what you can get done. Our potential here is unlimited potential. And the country's taken notice, right?
Yes.
But, the areas that are important right now in terms of program success, we're sitting in a pretty nice place.
Yes, I would say. We got to walk around.
Yeah, fantastic.
You got, and you don't know this because you weren't out here. I assume people have told you since the success that you've had. I've lived out here since 2009. Okay, pick 222. Never once have I heard anybody say something good about the football team. It's always like, here we go again. I married into a Hoosier family. Never. Football just not, we don't even talk about it anymore because we don't want to. Like, we just kind of move along. It was like forgotten about. And then now, 52,000 sold out for the rest of the time. We walked through the facility. People were excited to make it happen. The athletic director, obviously they've had high-performing athletics here with the basketball team. And soccer team, I think, is very, very good. So they know how to have a winner. I think they've just been waiting for a football team. And you're bringing it to them, man. You've done a lot of great things here very, very quickly. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, so keeping that going, obviously this year's awesome. You guys can go on and win the Big Ten and then go on and win the national championship.
What?
We all believe that. We all know
now
that.
you hang the banner.
Okay, yeah, they've already picked out a spot. But when you're recruiting guys, you talk about your guys. When you bring them in here, do you put them through anything? Do you ask them specific questions? Do you have them hang out with the team to get their kind of vibe when it comes to recruits?
How do you know? Yeah.
Well, yeah, on official visits, they're here 2 nights, so they're with the team and they're talking with academics and doing everything they got to do. But I think you form an impression of somebody fairly early. The first time you meet them, right? Yeah. It's not always correct, but a lot of times within the first minute and a half, 2 minutes, you got a decent idea.
Yeah.
And there's a certain kind of guy we're going to recruit, certain kind of guy we're not. Now, you got to have X amount of talent to be successful in this game, but there's a lot of good players out there. Then you got to develop them, and then you got to coach them, and then you got to form the intangibles on your team. And when you win, more doors are going to open for you. There's no doubt about it. Now, because we had to bring so many portal guys in last year, we're going to have to hit it hard again. Mm-hmm. But we're always going to recruit 15, 20 high school guys. We got about 20 commits right now, and that's the foundation of the house. So, can this keep growing? There's no doubt about it. And you got to be good in football because across the country, almost 90% of athletic revenue comes from football.
Oh, yeah.
So football is the breadwinner. You got to be good in football. So you keep winning. Maybe we'll build up that side of the stadium. We'll get about 80,000 in here. What do you think?
A couple seats here, a couple seats here. Might slow down the wind, too. Might be able to get some kickers and punters. Not that you guys don't already have great ones. AJ, obviously, Ohio State Buckeye, scared to death of Indiana, has a question for you.
I mean, you guys are legit, Coach, but you've mentioned you have no self-imposed limitations multiple times. Are people just scared to be great? Like, are they scared to go and reach out there and try to be great and to try to win everything?
Well, I know somebody wrote a book called Success is a Choice. And
is that you?
No.
Who was it?
I think it was our friend that's going to be up here in a little bit.
I didn't know you. I've never read a book.
It's a great book.
Success is a Choice, Nick Saban?
I think that was the title.
Holy shit.
It was wrote a long time ago. Anyway.
It was a coach. A coach.
I think you consciously make that decision and the price you're willing to pay and develop the right discipline, how good you want to be. And then you got to understand, if you want to be different, like really, really good or great, then you got to have, you can't be normal. And you got to be willing to say no. Michael Jordan said, you got to be a little selfish to be the best. That means saying no, maybe to your friends or doing things that you shouldn't be doing that aren't going to help you be the best you can be. And is it normal, like, to be a maniac in the fourth quarter when you're up 4 touchdowns? No. But that's what I got to be. So you got to pay the price. And, if you stick to the process, anything can happen. It doesn't always happen when you want it to happen. Like, you look at my career. Like, there's been a little bit of talk about that here recently. How, like...
We're just getting introduced. The world is just getting introduced to you.
Right. And you know what? My dad told me at a young age, you never want responsibility till you're ready for it. Now, we all think we're ready all the time, right?
Agreed.
Because we want it. So, beware of what you wish for. So, it happened a little later for me. And but I wouldn't trade my journey for any other journey in the world. It made me who I am and put me where I'm supposed to be.
Every stone was laid on a path that led you right to here. standing with us.
Hell yeah.
Standing with Connor in the rain.
In Indiana.
Less than 24 hours away from college game day, coming to Indiana University for football. First time ever on a Saturday. You're doing great things. You're the best. Did you see down in your Players Lounge down there, they have a board about the best movie that's ever been created, and then there's voting. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Okay. Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of votes.
Interstellar
has a vote. Shawshank Redemption has some good votes. Yep. Dumb and Dumber, no votes, but it is up there.
Hannah Montana had 4 votes.
Yeah, you need to run them out.
Yeah.
You need to run them out. Good
movie. But,
yeah, great movie.
But just didn't expect it.
From a Cignetti-led team, yeah, it didn't. But it feels like your guys, good bond, good culture. Can you feel they're tight?
There's no doubt about it.
Every team I've been on that's been good, tight.
Oh, you can't have a good team without that.
Agreed. It's like the major X factor of the great teams.
Yeah, everybody wants to make plays and have stats, but you got to thrive within your role. But everybody's got to be thinking about the same thing. You know, the team being successful as good as it can be. And when the team's successful, you got more All-Americans, All-Conference guys, NFL draft choices, et cetera, et cetera.
You see. Do you ever sink the biz down there at Nick's? You ever stop by any of these spots? You ever go to the upstairs pub?
We went there one time, right, babe? I think we went there, but
you guys sink the biz a little bit over there, Nick's?
I don't think we did that.
Coach, you're allowed.
Fun game.
It's fun, Coach.
In the
It's
off season,
probably a lot of those shirts right there.
Yeah. Hey, we need a Sig 10 jerseys. We need Sig 10 shirts. Stat.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, let's keep the Marlboro logo.
Yeah, maybe number 27 under it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Special plan.
Coach, we can't thank you enough, man, for the
pleasure.
We're going to enjoy the hell out of this. We're lucky to live in Indiana, you know? So just an hour and 15-minute drive this morning was awesome. So let's keep doing this.
Rebel Ram.
Let's
sounds like a plan.
Let's do this for the next 5-10 years, bub. I asked you to not fuck it up last time you were on the show.
Yeah.
Because there was a potential game day coming down here. You held up your end of the bargain, and let me let you know, we'll hold up our end of the bargain too, talking about how great this is.
Okay, so you don't want me to fuck it up again.
For like the next 10 years. Yeah. Depending on how long I'm on game day, we need you to not do that. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the IU Hoosier football team, legend, Curt Cignetti. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it, Coach. Tone, what's your first thoughts on that whole interaction they had, Pat and Con had with Coach Cignetti?
I mean, Sig's the best. Like, he's very, very authentic.
How about when he does his like foundational pieces, how he's boom, 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 boom.
Oh, you mean like, and that's one play? Like when he said 6 seconds,
and
like
then we're on to the next one.
Rattled off that whole thing.
All that stuff, like, it matters. Like, it's legit. I guarantee you, those guys buy into it.
Well, yeah, and then like I asked about which JMU guys to bring over because like I assume like that's the thing because they're all leading. Like the leading tackler, the leading sack guy. Elijah Surratt is their top wide receiver, and then one of their top running backs is all from JMU. So like he already had that instilled. So when you bring all those guys over. Like, I assume that just makes things a lot easier for your culture.
Well, it also just like we hear so often when a guy gets hired, you know, like they'll be shitty for 2 years and it'll be like, well, you just got to wait for him to get his guys in here. He's just got to get his guys in here. And very rarely, like I honestly can't think of another, you know, off the top of my head immediately, a time where a guy goes to a power, you know, like a Big Ten school and they're good immediately. Now, granted, like they still haven't played Ohio State. Like they have some tests left, but that's usually like he's not relying on I just got to get my guys in here. Like he grabbed enough guys in the portal, and he's confident enough in how he coaches and how the guys are going to respond that like removing that excuse completely, like that's very admirable, and you can see why people appreciate it and buy into it.
Well, think about like the fact that he said we're going to have to hit the portal hard again.
Yeah.
Think of all the players out there that now Indiana's on the radar.
Yeah.
These great players that are out there, and for whatever reason, they might not like where they are or whatever's happening, and now they're open for Cignetti.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what else is huge, I assume? He brought his coordinators with him, and he's brought his coordinators with him, I think, the last two stops. Like
all over. They've been with him for a long time, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's like I assume that is a huge point or part of it as well. Like when you come in and then so you don't have to be the only voice. Like your assistant coaches know what you want. So then when you're in your individual like unit rooms, like they can just preach the same message that you are as a head coach. You don't have to like try to be in everyone's business.
You're right. Yeah, head coach's got to coach his coaches. Yeah.
Yes.
Like a head coach, he has every new coach on the staff that has not been around. Like he has to coach his coaches and let them know, like, this is the standard. This is how we do things. Even just like little things, like the schedule, what you do. What about Sig in the NFL, Bruce? What do you think? I think the NFL would come knocking for him?
I think he's staying in college. It will be fascinating to see, like, what other schools kind of come knocking. Because, I mean, if they knock off Michigan, play Ohio State tough, maybe even beat them too, like, both of those schools are going to be like, how do we get this guy out of Indiana? So like that whole
Coach
battle,
Buckeyes,
keeping
you hear
him
that?
there.
Is that what you're saying, Bruce? You're saying that he's going to beat Ohio State and then they're going to swap Ryan Day for Cignetti?
Yeah, direct
Maybe.
swap.
I don't know if that's going to happen, but you're
How
right.
old was Tressel when he was coaching?
Man, he was in his 40s when he got the gig, like early 40s.
Because that's the only thing, like him being 62.
Or late 40s, maybe.
Like, and there wasn't that many suitors, probably because he's 62 or whatever. Even with the success, I wonder how.
Coaches get hired in their 60s all the time, though, right?
Yeah,
I know Cignetti, Indiana's the biggest gig he's had so far, but I mean, coaches that I guess a little bit older get hired. I don't know. I don't think age matters. What did he say? I'm 62 going on 44?
Yeah,
I believe he
like
said
that.
at one point.
Well, I think especially after you prove you can do it in a power conference like the Big Ten, like if he has that, then it's not like, oh, this guy was super successful with James Madison, and like that's, that they're great. They were great in 1AA, and then they moved up, obviously. But once you prove you can do it in one of the best conferences in college football, like then you might see, a bigger brand in the Big Ten or like an SEC school. It's like, okay, well, he's 62, like that doesn't really matter. He's proved he can do it.
Yeah, and for Cignetti, like what is a step up as well? Sometimes people think certain gigs are a step up.
Yeah.
I guarantee you Sig has a lot of pride in what Indiana's doing and where they're going, especially in the Big Ten with the competition they have.
He's not going to want to leave.
No.
Like, you think he's going to want to do this?
They're going to start building onto that stadium.
Correct,
They're going to start. There's going to be cranes going up. Like they're going to bring money's going to be coming in. Like they're going to be upgrading for the next 10 years, like every other big school.
Having the opportunity to go somewhere like this, where like to become one of like the winningest, if not like the best coach in the history of IU football, and like I know he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's really concerned about any of that stuff, and obviously it's his first year, but the way this has started, it's like you could see if he stays there 10 years, like we might be talking about Curt Cignetti Field at Memorial Stadium or whatever. Like I assume for some guys, like that's got to be a pretty enticing challenge. It's like, hey, I really could completely flip the culture, because I feel like there are very few places left in college football where you actually have that type of opportunity.
Yeah, I guess you don't. It doesn't really happen anymore.
No,
like definitely the path that Cignetti has and what he's done in Indiana so far. There's no I can't think of other guys. I mean, you mentioned Coach Tressel. He came from Youngstown State, got the Ohio State gig. Thinking about that now seems kind of wild. Like what a huge jump, but it turned out and it worked out beautifully. I know Pat and Conman, I believe, are back with us.
I've been known to write these songs, loving and leaving and getting too stoned. We just found out lasagna night tonight at the Cignetti house.
Oh my God!
Are you guys Are you guys going to go sink the biz tonight? You brought it up, Pat.
I mean,
I don't
explain what that is.
When in Rome.
It's this bucket of shit you got to dump. It's a booze game.
Yep.
It's a boozing game, a big boozing game.
It's like
you got to drink a whole thing.
It's like like a bucket when you order like a 6-pack at a restaurant over there. They bring it out in a bucket.
Yeah,
that's like filled with beer, and then you have to pour beer into another cup, and whoever sinks that cup into the bucket or whatever,
has to
chug it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
So keep playing.
And then you get you get booze bags going. I guess I'll be the one. It's
kind of have to.
It's a whole scene. I just met the entire Cignetti clan.
How awesome!
Of which there are many.
They need to do a documentary on this family. We got 4 surgeons. Okay, surgeons, neurosurgeons, salespeople. Did you know there's doctors that come from IUP, Tone?
No,
did you know that?
That's not true. Like they go to school there.
I just met them.
Allegedly.
There's doctors,
or they
coming
were
out of
born
IUP.
there. They were born there, and they went to a different college.
No, IUP
I don't
doctors.
think so.
That's
Degrees.
what I'm telling you. I've
IUP
never
leads
been more
the country in one stat only. And I'm not going to talk about it here on this show.
I didn't want to bring it up to them either. I heard, you got to stay strapped up around there is what I've been told. But
wear protection.
Doctors. We got doctors from IUP. I'm staring at them. I'm looking at them. Tone, my mind was blown. I'm going to stop talking over there. I was meeting the whole family. I'm like, you're a doctor? You went to IUP? Yeah.
Are chiropractics actually doctors, though?
No.
That's a good dentist. That's a good point.
Neurosurgeons, I've heard.
Oh.
So Sig has
actual doctors.
His crew is with him.
Real doctors.
Wow. His whole family's. I bet he travels as a pack, doesn't he? All of them.
Here, turn. Here, let's show him. We got like 10 seconds. We only got like 10 seconds. We only got like 10 seconds.
Yes, they got the shirts on.
Yes.
That's the whole Cignetti crew there.
The Cignetti crew. We'll be back here in a couple minutes. See ya.
Joining us is a demon. Ladies and gentlemen, O's the Mentalist will be joining us.
All right, O's.
Let's go. What's the pick? I'm not giving away for free. Bill, what time is it right now?
7:57.
Write it as big as you can.
Wow.
Okay. It's about to get weird. From this point on, I never touch this bad boy. We're going to revisit later in the draft.
All right, O's, get in here, you sick son of a
weird.
bitch.
Almost 2 hours.
Hold it. Oh, don't drop it.
Oh, no.
All that, boss. Okay, AJ, take the cards, look through them, and here's the thing. I want this to be random. Yeah, you can.
Okay, yeah, what's up? My hands are a bit frozen, but yeah.
I want you to take, but hold on. I don't want you to look for your favorite.
Bill's booking Sean Payton right now.
So
There we go, head boy Bill.
AJ, slow. Lift. No.
Let one of your guys.
Take off a piece.
Oh,
it could
you
be a
fucked
lot
my
or a little.
shirt. Oh, right here.
And don't look at it. Lift it up.
I'm not.
Put it against your body. That feel right?
Yeah, feels
AJ,
great.
if you don't feel like this was the right moment for you, you want to change, put it back.
All right, I'm putting it back.
It's up to you. All right, lift off wherever you want,
We're back.
more or less. A piece,
No, that's not okay. Now I'm
you
good.
want. Is that
times.
Good.
Okay.
This is a good one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
Stay right there, locked and loaded.
Oh, you fucked up my shirt,
That's
bro.
and there is a white piece of paper.
Yep.
Is that right? That's all that's in there. Take that out. I want you to see this. Look, AJ, open it up.
No fucking way.
No
and
way.
show us and show AJ what you got. What is that? Show us. 9-9. Turn around and show us where you're at.
You ready?
Yep, turn it around.
No way. Shut up! This guy!
757, that thing.
What?
That's been in there since 7:57. Imagine that you somehow know the game of the year next season. Tell us, what are the two teams that you're seeing in this game? Say it.
Packers and 49ers.
Who do you think's going to win that game?
Packers 34, Niners 27.
Tell me on your life. Did I tell you to say anything? Did I
You
say
did it, and I swear to God, if you get this right, I'm gonna rip your fucking head off.
Tell him the game of the year.
Oh my
Read
God.
Read it to him, please.
Come on, bro.
Read it to him. Packers beat the 49ers 34-27. Remember this screen grab when it happens this season. Open up what's been in there since 7:57.
Come on, dude. There's something wrong with you.
Open it up. It says Brock Bowers, 13th
How?
pick Raiders.
Fuck this guy.
Oh,
fucking way!
There's no way. This guy's a witch. Bears, Caleb Williams.
100% we knew it.
Commanders, Jaden Daniels.
No, don't you dare.
Patriots, Drake May. Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. Chargers, Joe Walt. Giants, Malik Neighbors. Titans, J.C. Latham. Michael Penix Jr. Roma Dunze. Vikings from
Traded
Jets.
with the Jets.
What? J.J. McCarthy, Jets from Vikings. Olu Fashanu, Broncos, Bo. Knicks, and then the 13th pick.
Oh my God!
Bowers to the Raiders.
I'm so happy I'm not.
Beautiful.
Taped on his chest since 7:57. Right now it is 9:50.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Here we go, hour 2 of the Pat McAfee Show. We have a loaded second hour coming on with multiple legends that I think people don't want to stick around for. Pat's in Bloomington, Indiana with Boston Connor. Football is what we've been talking about, Coach. Hey, Pat, I know you you sent the Cignetti crew on their way. I know we have Nick Saban coming up here in a few moments, which is always awesome every single Friday. But what's going on there? Has the rain picked up? You guys under a tarp? What's happening?
The rain has stopped completely. It is beautiful down here. I like the fact that Coach Cignetti didn't mind the rain just falling on his face.
Stood in the pocket.
Stood in it, didn't mind. Actually wanted to start preaching a little bit, started to move. Didn't like that we had to kind of cage him in there on that one particular side. Got Coach Saban joining us. Then we got Schwarber, obviously World Series champion, joining us, who will be guest picker tomorrow, 1:30. And then Pat Narduzzi, head coach, University of Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, not the head coach. He's the
Chris Bickle.
Class of 95.
Chris Bickle, class
97.
97 head coach of the University of Pittsburgh Panthers football team. They're undefeated. He'll be joining us at 2:05, late edition. Big shout out to Tone Diggs, I think, was the one that inevitably did the booking there to get him on the program. It's a packed and stacked feel-good Friday. The weather's clearing up. We got invited for lasagna. We got told by the Cignetti family, real doctors, Tone. Okay, this ain't,
Tone.
Pat, ain't your mom and pop.
Pat,
bullshit.
you understand, and you had the same kind of questions that I have.
Yeah, I wish. I mean, I guess they're going to take it as disrespectful, and I hope that's not how the Cignetti crew feels.
Respectfully disrespectful.
But as soon as they said, Sig said, those two are married. They're doctors. Those two should be getting married soon. Put a little pressure on the guy.
Yeah, big time.
He's a neurosurgeon. She's a doctor as well. He's the wealthiest out of all of them. He's medical sales guy over there. This guy.
They all went to IUP, though? That was my question. If they went to IUP and were doctors.
All of them met at IUP. All the doctors that met at
Crazy.
IUP, yeah. So they all went there for pre, and then obviously they go other places to get the.
That makes sense.
I don't think IUP has a med school, but there are doctors coming out of IUP.
That
and
makes more sense, yeah.
I was so befuddled. I mean, I was. No offense to IUP. Shout out to IUP.
I mean, respectfully, are you really going to fail Sig's daughters? I'm just saying.
Sig's dad coached
pressure on
20 years at IUP.
Yeah.
And obviously he then followed suit coaching there and then coached at Elon. It's like the Cignetti family is so perfect for football. And he talked about, a lot of people are making about my path and my journey to here and all that. It's like, yeah, because as soon as we see the way he is here in Indiana, it's like, how come this guy hasn't been given an opportunity 20 years ago, 15 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, I needed everything. I wasn't ready for it, yada, yada, yada. He's going to say all the good stuff. But it's like, you think about DeBoer as well. Whenever he ends up, he came through Indiana with Penix, and he gets an opportunity to go up to Washington, but he was like D2 coach or whatever, small school coach, and then he gets an opportunity, has success. It's like Cignetti, D2 coach, was able to have a lot of success. It's like, I think some people a little hesitant maybe to pull the trigger, I think is kind of what we were being talked about in the game day conversation.
Well, it's kind of like the NFL. Like the NFL now, it's like, hey, we don't want to hire an older guy. Like they'd way rather hire, the next big thing, the younger coach, go that way. And I feel like college is the same way. It's like you want to get a guy who's going to be there for 20 years, right? That's the thought. But Curt Cignetti said it. Like, hey, I'm 62 going on 42. Like, Sig's going to keep coaching until he's 100 years old and dies. Like, I don't understand why. Like, the elder guys don't get the looks, but it feels like that's just kind of the sentiment now from all teams in the NFL and in college.
Tone, there was one school in one of the P4 programs that wanted Cignetti. It was Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
After this season, it's not going to be like that as we set up for our next guest that's coming, Tom.
Yeah, I agree, and other schools are going to want him, but Sig's not. I don't think.
Is Indiana really the only option? Didn't he say he turned a few down?
Yeah, this is Sig's last stop too. Like Sig's not going to want to do this again. Okay, he's built IU. He's in. Listen, were they the basement dwellers of the Big Ten for a long time? Sure, but now that the Big Ten and SEC, their TV rights monies are so much more than the other conferences. If you are a coach in the Big Ten or SEC, first off, your paycheck is better than everybody else. Your recruiting money is better than anybody else, and your NIL eventually is going to be better than all the other conferences as well.
Yeah, you're also playing some of the best teams
true,
as well.
True.
Especially like Pat talked about it, like the way IU is and the way basketball was for so long. Like they've kind of just been laying dormant. Like if they do get good, like there are people around there who will go crazy, and there are like big money backers who would gladly put the money into the football team. So it kind of was just like they just had to kind of get things going. Like it's not like, I mean, we talk about it all the time, like Mark Cuban went to IU, like, I mean, if Indiana gets good, like that's the type of thing, like, you just put a little seed money in there, and then before you know it, people get excited and people want to donate, and then you have a monster on your hands.
Yeah, Cignetti kind of laid it out for us. He told us how it all just boom compiles, and here we go. And I believe Coach Saban might be with Pat and the boys. I don't know if they how everything's going, but I feel like you guys are opened up and good to go. What's up, Pat? How's it going?
Love Coach Cignetti having the success that he's having. We're 3 wide, brother, and obviously sleeveless hoodie that was gifted to me by the Indiana football program. My name's Pat. In the middle there is Connor Campbell, son of Steven. And on the left side of your screen there, looking mighty fine, mighty sharp, and mighty young, doesn't he?
Yeah. Incredible. I don't know, 52 maybe?
No, 48.
48, sure, 35.
Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, Coach Saban.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Coach, you missed the rain. I hope it doesn't come down on that incredible blazer you're rocking right now. We just talked to Coach Cignetti here on the program. He gave you a lot of credit, man. Like, I hope we'll clip it and send it back to you. I don't want to say he almost got emotional, but he numerous times went back to learning from you about how to win, organizational structure, setup, everything like that. Whenever you had Coach Cignetti as an assistant coach in the Coach Saban coaching university, what do you remember of him, and how much have you talked to him now, obviously, since this Indiana run has started?
Yeah, well, I think, one of the things that guys like Coach Cignetti had an advantage of is, when we went to Alabama, they weren't very good. So, therefore, we built the program from scratch. I mean, we were 7-6 the first year, 12-0 the second year, lost to Florida in the SEC championship game. So the whole culture of the program got built. A lot of the guys that became assistants in 2016 and 2018, and they're now the head coach at wherever, the program was already successful. It was almost like the players. The players that we recruited in the beginning came because they wanted to do something special and prove something. But then it was more like, well, what can Alabama do for me?
Yeah.
Later on. So Curt actually got to see it built from the ground up. I think it was a great experience for me because we learned a lot along the way from each other. But I do think that he probably saw, all these intangible things that are necessary to have a successful program and to be able to sustain it. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that he took away from that. I don't talk to our former assistants unless they call me. They call me when they have issues or problems, or they're trying to make decisions, or is there somebody that I could talk to, just like, some coaches, when they have a bye week, they say, can we talk during the bye week? I'd like to discuss things with you. So when that happens, I talk to them.
You don't want to add extra shit in their life there. Sending text messages, hey, how we doing? I'm on game day, got to talk about this. See, that's the difference between you and me. I don't text anybody because I don't know any of these guys, but I appreciate the fact that you're like, I don't want to add any more bullshit into your life.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Rich?
The only thing I'll ask is when we do something like this is I always ask a coach, is there something that you want to talk about? Is there a point that you want to make? And I'll give you the opportunity to do that through the question that I ask you or whatever.
Okay, so Coach Cignetti mentioned about how he feels as long as you have the support, any P4 program can have success. AD, Scott, very excited and thankful that football is doing well. They sold this place out for the rest of the season, 52,000 plus. That was never like that. I told him, I said, there was times through my tenure here living in Indiana, there'd be 100 people watching a Big Ten football game here at Indiana. I mean, it is complete night and day. With the collective he started, he has money. Do you think it is sustainable for this Indiana team to continue to go? And is Cignetti a guy at 62 who is just kind of hitting his stride as a coach, do you think?
Yeah, well, I think, he's been a good coach for a long time. He just had success at programs that, whether they were Division II, 1AA, that people didn't pay that much attention to. But if you evaluate his success rate, it was very, very good. Now he's at some place that people notice. So I think that's the big difference. But I do think that if you have the right circumstance in any college program, you're willing to invest because, right now it's about money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are just come down to money. I mean, where players go to school comes down to money. So if you have a collective and you have money, you're going to have an opportunity to be successful. You're going to be able to retain the players on your team that you want to retain, almost like a pro team. And you're also going to be able to get free agents to come into your program. And you're also going to be able to recruit better high school players because you got financial opportunities for them as well. So I do think that's a piece. That's something that everybody's had to adapt to in the last 4 or 5 years. That was never a circumstance in college athletics before. It was all about having a program, helping guys develop personally, academically, athletically. But now there's, sort of a new sheriff in town when it comes to this money thing, and everybody's got to pay attention to it. But I do think that it allows everybody the opportunity to be successful if you have the resources.
Well, they obviously have money, and they have for basketball for a while. Like, that has been kind of the bread and butter here in Indiana. Now the eyes going to the football team. I think it's going to be good for Sig. And you mentioned Mark Cuban graduated from here. I think he's running for president. Is Mark Cuban running for president right now?
That is correct.
Really?
Uh-huh. He's running for president right now. I think is what. Whenever he realizes what's happening with the football team, I think that's going to be something he's going to want to get involved with. Connor has a question for Coach.
Yeah, Coach, we were talking about it earlier. What about the age thing? Like, it feels like because Sig is 62, he didn't get opportunities at other places. Do you think schools don't want an older coach per se? And do you think they think about, to your point about the recruiting, like, hey, if we hire a guy who's older, he might not be able to connect with kids on the same way, a 40-year-old head coach might be able to?
Well, I think the kid connection part of it is all about the person and the personality of the person and how you've adapted through the years. Me personally, I was 72 the last year I coached. I had no problem relating to players, and I think if you asked the players, they would say the same thing. But I changed a lot through the years because the players actually changed, in terms of what their commitment was and, what their purpose was in terms of why were they going to college and what were they trying to accomplish. So you had to kind of adapt your program and the way you approach them. You had to make things. When I first started coaching, if you told a guy to do something, he'd run through the wall for you just because you said to do it. Well, it's not like that anymore. You kind of got to show these guys where it's going to benefit them.
Why am I running through a wall real quick?
Well, but you don't need to do that. But you had to show them where it was going to create value, for them individually, and even being a part of a team, how that's creating value for your future. So you have to be able to adapt, and I don't think age has anything to do with that. I think Curt Cignetti understands that. The fact that he's 62, he'll coach for another 10, 15 years, probably. And I hope that he continues to have success. So, for me, I did it for 50 years. And I just thought that, this last year was really a tough year for me. And I'm saying, how many quality years do you have left and how do you want to spend them? And, me and Miss Terry get up every day and have our coffee, and we're happy now, so I'm good.
And now you get to spend time with me and Connor on a
Hell
phone call.
Yeah, and I love that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boys hanging out.
AJ back at the Thunderdome has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, you've had so many of your assistants go on to be great head coaches. Like, when do you know that some of your assistants are going to be great head coaches? Can you tell when you hire them? And I would assume,
or trap.
Yeah, and I would assume when you hire a coach, do you want them to aspire to become a head coach someday?
Yeah, I always looked for guys that had what I call aspirations instead of needing inspiration, because when you want some inspiration, that means somebody else has to motivate you to do something. But when you have aspirations, that means you have goals to do something and accomplish something. So I wanted guys that wanted to be head coaches. If they were assistants, I wanted them to be coordinators, because they're going to learn big picture things and contribute more to the program in more ways than just coaching their position. So absolutely. And to answer when do you know, I think when a guy is in a position of responsibility, a coordinator, even if it's a special teams coordinator, and how they manage that, how they manage the room, how they motivate the players that they're responsible for, the kind of discipline and how the players respond to them. I think when you see that happen in a real positive way, you can sort of bet that if this guy was a head coach, he'd be successful as well, because it's just a bigger group that you have to deal with.
Yeah, special teams coordinators have to deal with the whole team, offense and defense. You know that. That's why they're so vital into the next head coaching step. Did you ever have a crap coach on your staff? All we ever hear about is guy goes, Coach Saban, boom, becomes a head coach.
Yep.
Did you ever have guys that are like crap early and be like, I don't want this guy coaching my team anymore? Like, legitimately, did that ever happen?
I only fired one guy in the whole time I was a head coach. And that was my fault, because I hired a guy to do a job that he really wasn't qualified to do.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, Rich.
It was like the guy was like an offensive line coach, and I hired him to be the special teams coach.
Got it.
Well, that's not really what he was, and it didn't work out very well. But it wasn't his fault; it was my fault.
Yeah.
And now, there were guys that you had on your staff that you want everybody to be different. Some coaches like for everybody to be the same. And even in business, I talk to these business groups, and they want people to be, like cut out of the same mold. I wanted everybody to be different. I wanted some guys to be real good recruiters, and some guys to, pat the guys on the back and rub their neck, and some guys to get after them when they need. I wanted different guys that had different strengths. Some guys had great knowledge and experience and were great presenters, and other guys they could just coach technique. So everybody was a little different, but it was, the sum of those parts that made the staff really strong. And so I didn't want people that were the same. I wanted people that were different.
You want a diverse portfolio of coaches in the room because you never know what's going to reach a certain player too, right?
Yeah, because you got a diverse group of players that have different personalities. And one of the things that I think helped us be successful through the years is we were able to get more personality types, different kinds of guys, to be able to play well from a mental standpoint. Psychological disposition. They didn't have it, but we could create it for them and help them do it. And I think that's what helped us be successful.
How do you think I would have fared in one of your locker rooms?
You'd have done great. I mean, we'd have needed a little, some mental health,
Juice? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Sure.
Of course. But we had 25 years experience there, and we'd have applied it all.
That's awesome. Ty has a question for you back in the Thunderdome.
Yeah, Coach, switching to the SEC, it seemed like for the longest time, at least when you were coaching at Alabama, you guys were going to win the SEC pretty much. And then recently here, Georgia's kind of come on. Are you surprised at how much parity is in the SEC this year? And do you think with Texas and Oklahoma and as the conferences get bigger, that's kind of just going to be commonplace where we see these teams jockeying for first place week in, week out, and everyone's kind of cannibalizing themselves?
Yeah, I think there's more parity in the SEC because I think players want to come to the SEC. So the system that we have now allows more players with more experience and proven quality to be able to come to the SEC. In other words, it doesn't have to just be recruiting. You take a team like Ole Miss, and I think Lane's done a great job there, so I'm not being critical in this, but he's actually used the portal to his benefit to be able to have a top-notch team. And other teams use recruit, like Georgia, they still are going to recruit. Alabama's going to recruit. They're going to use the portal some, but not as much. So that helps some of the teams that weren't quite as good get better quickly so that they can compete with those top-level teams. So, and I think the Big Ten you're going to see some of that in the Big Ten. But I think those two conferences, because of the strength that both those conferences have, they're going to have a little bit of advantage in this new day and age that we're living in.
Texas Vandy tomorrow. I mean, that's cool. Mm-hmm. AJ, we were talking about that this morning in the game day meeting. After what just happened with Georgia, then you got Vandy the next week. It's not like that. This ain't Vandy yesterday.
Tough Vandy.
And you talk about transfer portal and NIL can kind of make anybody good. You bring in one player, you change the entire culture. It's like every week this college season feels like there's been massive games. I love where we're headed when it comes to a competition standpoint. Do you agree? And did you forecast the season to go this way with the realignment, with the transfer portal, with the NIL? Did you expect it to give us as many highlights as it has thus far?
I think what I expected was because of the 12-team playoff, there would be a lot more interest, a lot more passion, because there'd be a lot more teams that could stay alive. I never envisioned that because of that name, image, and likeness, paying players, basically. It's not really name, image, and likeness. It's just pay for players.
That's a whole nother conversation.
That would have such an impact that we would be creating a situation where you don't have a salary cap and you have free agency, but the combination of those two teams would allow teams to improve at a very high level very quickly.
Yeah, like here, for instance. I mean,
Cignetti and Vandy, as you were talking about.
Vandy, big, here, big. Yeah. It's like some of these schools, and AJ knows this because AJ actually had a Halloween party to raise money for the NIL for Ohio State.
Huge party.
Huge party.
Cancer hospital coach. Don't listen to him. You know that.
Oh, okay.
They say.
They have other events for the NIL collective and everything like that. There's always going to be schools that are more than, everybody else, but everybody having a little bit of a piece to potentially give shapes things up quickly for programs. Go ahead, Con, man.
Yeah, few of these teams, Coach, as soon as they get the 1 seed, it feels like right away there's either an aura or a pressure that comes with it, and, they're losing. It's almost like a curse. In Oregon, they asked Dan Lanning about, how does it feel to be the 1 seed for the first time since 2012 or whatever it was, and he said, who cares? Is there something to that when you get that 1 seed that your team looks around and almost feels an added pressure or feels like they've made it somewhere? And how do you talk to the team once you are that top seed?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think there is something to that. I think that's why you see a little difficulty in people staying at number one for very long. I think people get complacent pretty easily. And, if you went into a room and you had a whole team full of guys and you stand up and said, who wants to be number 4? Nobody had raised their hand. If you said, who wants to be number 1, everybody had raised their hand. All right, so once you get there, there's an automatic psychological, I call it relief syndrome, that I should be able to rest on my laurels. But as soon as you rest on your laurels, you really became the team everybody wanted to beat. So now it's even more competitive when you play. And then I think people are affected by external factors. You're hearing, you're number 1, you're number 1. So, but it doesn't really mean anything because it doesn't matter to be number 1 until you're number 1 at the end. So you have to keep focused on what you need to do to continue to improve, to play better. And I always try to get guys to play to a standard. In other words, I never talked about winning. I never talked about winning the SEC. I never talked about winning the national championship. I said, this is the standard that we want to play to. If we can play to the standard, then we'll beat the teams we're supposed to beat, and we'll put ourselves in a position to have a chance to play for a championship. But you got to play to the standard first, and you got to do it one play at a time, every play in the game, no matter who you're playing. It doesn't matter. You cannot let external factors affect your psychological disposition to compete.
Coach, isn't it crazy that everybody that's at your level of success in sports all views it the same way? And then there's still people that are like, nah, I'm going to do it differently.
But it's really not.
It's like process-driven is everything for the super successful people.
That's exactly right. But that's not normal. Michael Jordan's not normal. Kobe Bryant's not normal. Those guys,
Nick
Tiger
Saban.
Woods is not normal. I mean, because they won championships, but they kept winning. They didn't let the winning affect who they were. They still were driven to perfection. They were still driven to be the best. But most people, once they get there, they lose some of that drive. They get satisfied. And, success is not a continuum. It's momentary. Right? And unless you keep doing all the things that you've done and then even continue to try to improve what you've done in the past and get better, more. And it's hard.
Yeah, especially whenever you get to the top of that mountain. You're looking around. See everybody how small they look.
Nice view.
Oh, it is. What about if the view isn't as good, though? There's sometimes that happens, too. People work their ass off to get to the top, then they get there and they're like, I wasted my life for this.
But the big thing is when you get to the top, you become the mountain.
Ooh.
Because that's what everybody's shooting at. Now they're trying to be you. All right. Now the challenge is they got your game scheduled every week, circled every week. All right. We want to beat these guys because they were at the top of the mountain. So if you don't keep climbing beyond the mountain, you're toast.
Hey, once you get to the top, that's when the climb actually begins. AJ Hawk has a question for you. He's been a champion multiple times.
Yeah, Coach, is it exhausting to sustain that standard? Because I just know as a parent, it'd be easy sometimes to ignore when my kid has some terrible behavior. But hey, we can't. You let them get away with it one time, then that's it. And as a coach, I would imagine day to day dealing with so many players and so many factors. Does that get exhausting? I mean, obviously you got to get your coaching staff and get all of them coached up on it. But how did you continue that, like you said, for 50 years?
Yeah, well, I never got tired of it because I knew this is what it takes to win. How do we get the intangible things right in the organization so the player has a chance to be successful and we have a chance to be successful as a team? And as soon as you feel like you can't do that anymore, you better go do something else because you're not going to have the culture on your team you need to have to be able to be successful. I mean, it's just not going to happen. And now, if you can establish that culture, you have even a greater advantage because to me, the challenge to establish it is greater because the multiples of things that affect people are greater than they've ever been. I'm talking about transfer and I'm talking about money. So what is a guy's commitment to the team? What is his commitment to being the best he can be? Or does he just want to participate? There's a big difference in those two things.
Yeah.
I'm just going to participate, be on the team, do what I got to do.
Check some boxes.
Yeah. All right. So, but you need guys that are committed to really doing the best that they can possibly do to be the best that they can be, and they got to be driven to want to win and, win championships, but you got to be a champion first, so you got to be committed to yourself.
Have you always been okay with being the bad guy? So, for instance, I have, throughout my life, been the one who has chosen to say the things that maybe everybody else has been thinking, but doesn't want to be the bad guy for it. Leader of an operation, you have to be the bad guy sometimes. Have you always wanted that? Have you always been that? How is that kind of...
Yeah, but I don't know that being the bad guy is the right way to say it. If you tell me what you want to accomplish, you tell me.
Okay.
And then you're not doing something that is going to enhance your opportunity to do that. And I call you in my office and say, Pat, how's this behavior going to help you accomplish these goals you told me? How does that make me the bad guy? I mean, I'm just showing you that you wanted to do this. This is what you have to do it. How is this behavior going to help you do it? And you're going to look at me and say, yeah, Coach, you're right. Is that being a bad guy?
No.
Or is that being a good guy for you? Even though might not be telling you what you want to hear, I'm just telling you what you need to hear.
Have to hear.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to. That's a great way to phrase it. I'm going to start looking at it that way whenever I got to chew some of these fucking guys out. You know what I mean?
And I can tell you, they need it.
Yeah. Amen. Come into the office. Come into the office. Big story revolving around an Alabama guy, one of your guys. And obviously, we got a chance to chat with you immediately after it happened. Tua's returning to football this weekend. Yeah. You said immediately, obviously, it's going to be a medical decision. Guy loves ball. Great human. Have never heard somebody say, good, thank you. Whenever you ask him how he's doing, always well, thank you, or whatever. Like, nicest guy of all time.
Thanks for asking.
Thanks for asking. There he is. He's coming back to play this weekend. How do you feel about him? What do you expect from him? And how excited are you to see Tua back on a football field? Obviously, a place he loves.
Right. Well, I'm concerned that I want Tua to be safe and healthy and not have a football career that's going to impact him down the road.
Agreed.
All right, number one. All right, number two is I think organizationally, this is a medical decision. This is not an organizational decision. People will look at him and say, why are they letting him play? I think the doctors make that decision. It's a medical decision. Then for him, it becomes personal then as to, I really want to play. I'm a competitor. I love playing. I want to play. So he has to make a decision. Is the risk reward from a medical standpoint worth it to you? And I think all those things are in play now. If he wants to play, which I've talked to him and I know he wants to play, I know what kind of competitor he is, then I'm happy for him that he's having the opportunity to play, but I also pray for him that he doesn't have any issues.
We all are doing the same thing. We all assumed he was going to play football again because he's a football guy. That's literally all we've been told. And if a doctor clears a football guy to go play football, especially if there's hundreds of millions of dollars potentially, all the factors in it, he's going to go play. But man, all of us are going to be watching that game. And every game he plays, just like,
every hit.
Come on, And we're pulling for it. And it happened, 4 times, 3 times? How many, Gumpy, how many?
3.
3 times, and we've all seen it. Think about all the plays where it didn't happen. Now it feels like every single play he's going to be watched, and we're pulling for him. Tua sounds like a dog, though. Man.
He is. And I think one thing about Tua, and I always try to reiterate this, every time he got hurt at Bama, there was not a play to be made, and he tried to make a play. When he broke his hip, Ruggs fell down. There was no place to throw the ball, and he's scrambling trying to make a play. There's no play to be made. He got what do they call it when they tight rope your ankle? He was scrambling, and there was no play to be made. And somebody jumped on his back, and he twisted his ankle. I think there's a way that you have to play your position at quarterback, that there's a time when you got to know you got to give up on the play. There is no play to be made here. You want to play with toughness. I admire his grit. I admire his toughness, his mental toughness. But you also have to know when, hey, I need to slide. I don't need to take a hit so that I can continue to be able to play and be healthy and not put myself at risk. I do think that's important for him.
Tua's going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Tua's going to do that. We can't wait to watch. Another former Alabama guy just went bananas. Amari Cooper arrives at the Bills, goes crazy. We knew that was going to happen, obviously.
Yeah, but I told you about Amari Cooper the last show.
Yes.
Everybody's questioning, why does the guy keep getting traded? Nothing wrong with the guy.
No.
He's a good guy. He's a good player.
Too good. Should be on the Colts. What the hell are we doing?
Well, that wouldn't make sense.
Huh?
That wouldn't make sense. He's a winner.
Josh Allen just immediately. It's just pick it up right up. And I think you saying what you said on our show has potentially helped Bill's Mafia and maybe his teammates in Buffalo understand too. Like, hey, he's a quiet dude. Doesn't mean he's checked out. Just means he's very quiet. Always has been. Buffalo seems like a perfect culture for him, and they needed another weapon. And lo and behold, he's scoring tuds already, being there 4 days.
Well, I'm happy for him. That's great.
It is. You know what else is great? The fact that we get to hang out with you every single Friday and on Saturday mornings. We appreciate the hell out of you, Coach.
Good. Great being here. I like it, man. And I do think these guys need a little ass chewing, though.
Absolutely.
Well, you don't know half of it. I mean, you don't know that.
You're supposed to be the head coach of this group.
You're talking about relief syndrome? They're starting to read little press clippings. Oh, this show's doing good, yada, yada, yada. We got guys leaving work early. We got guys not following rules. I mean, it's a whole thing. Attention to detail needs to happen, Coach. I'm going to call you.
Let me just tell you something. If you ain't coaching it, you're letting it happen.
All right, Coach.
All right, that's your ass.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Saban.
Yeah. Oh, man. Ty, what do you think? It's Coach Saban, he comes on every single Friday.
Yep.
The dude seems to get more and more comfortable every single time talking to all of us.
Yeah, I mean, he's the greatest college football coach of all time. I think we knew that once he got into the media space and kind of got comfortable and realized he could kind of let his personality out and show who he really is and not just the kind of curmudgeon hard ass that we always saw in press conferences on the sidelines. I think we all knew he was going to be unbelievable, and, lo and behold, he has been.
Yeah, he wants to be great. I know I've said that before, but you could tell he wants to be good. Like I don't think he would ever do anything and not try his hardest and not prepare and not do whatever it takes. It's interesting when he said, I don't look at it as I'm the bad guy. Bruce, what do you think about that? Is there any bad guys in New York? The New York Giants, we know. I can't look at you without thinking of the New York Giants, even though you have your Yankees hat on. I get it. World Series, here we go. We have Schwarber coming on here in a little bit. Should be awesome. But what do you think when Nick Saban says, hey, I don't look at it as I'm the bad guy. I'm just the guy telling you, reminding you, hey, you want to be awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's the perfect way to look at it. And, he isn't being a bad guy. He's just trying to help you achieve your goals. Obviously, success is a choice, and he's going to help you make that choice and the decisions along the way. It makes perfect sense why he's, the winningest coach in college football history and just an awesome addition, not only here on Friday, but on game day. He is awesome on there. Picks, I've been tailing him, not winning that much, but everything else, he's spectacular.
I mean, you think he really – we should have asked him something about his picks, Bruce. You think he would love that? Hey, Coach, not going as well as you thought maybe.
Are you keeping track of his picks?
He was talking about it. He's like, Miss Terry's kicking my ass on these picks. I'm really doing terrible. So, yeah, I was looking to ask him about it, see if he was maybe changing his process, maybe start fading himself a little bit.
You think so? I don't know. Kyle Schwarber – so, Ty, you know baseball way more than we do. Kyle Schwarber from Middletown, Ohio, Dayton area, very close to where I grew up. So this guy's been an absolute monster. For some reason, though, he's so good in the postseason when the games actually matter, when everybody is actually watching.
That's because he's a dog, buddy.
There you are. You guys are back. What's happening? Is Schwarber, tromping around the concourse up there somewhere?
No, he's going to be on a Zoom call, AJ. Thanks for reading the sheet and understanding what's going on with the program. Happy to hear that. These towels are currently... I think they're handing out these towels in this stadium right now.
Every seat.
There is a slew of Hoosiers kind of hitting. If you can, Connor, I think that's a good looking bib.
Yeah.
That is a good looking bib.
They're
kind of laying them. I think so. I don't know if it's a shirt or these bibs or these towels. I don't know exactly what it is, but. What's that, Tone?
Last week they did the study later towels, so I assume.
Yeah, Cignetti. These are Cignetti towels. They are laying out on every single seat. Somebody just showed a lot of yells. A lot of these folks are fans of the program. We're very thankful. There's a group of lads over here up in the top deck enjoying themselves, getting a good look at it. Indiana is on fire right now. It is buzzing, and these are hysterical.
Sick.
This is Sig 10 is the next one.
Yeah. Probably the coolest logo that's been made for a coach.
Absolutely, and he does not budge either. He's cool. Yeah, call me Cignetti.
Whatever.
I've been called worse before, and if these guys are going to light it up, we'll just keep fucking rolling.
Yeah. It's almost as if he likes when they are lighting it up because then he can chew them out.
Yeah, you see all these cigs lighting up around here?
Yeah.
That's for me, okay? Need you guys to hold up your end of the bargain. Speaking of holding up their end of the bargain, the guest pickers have been phenomenal on game day this season, and tomorrow is no different. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now, live from, I don't know where, I think he was on a potential hunting excursion.
Look like a sweet cabin.
Sweet. Yeah, it could potentially be sweet cabin. Yeah. Good beard.
Always.
Good beard. Good moxie.
Yeah, looks jocked.
IU alum. World Series champion, ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Schwarber.
What's up,
Schwarber,
guys?
how you doing,
How's it
pal?
going? Oh,
Hey,
living the dream. Living the dream.
Were we fruitful this morning or no?
I slept in.
Okay, you gotta do it. Gotta do what you gotta do. I understand. Have you heard about what's
That hurt.
Have
That
you heard-
hurt. Had hurt a little bit. Yeah, we took a little breather.
Hey, it's all right. You're allowed to do that. That's part of a hunting trip, I believe. Do you know everything that's happening back here in Bloomington with this Cignetti fella? Do you know about it, Schwarbo?
I know about Cignetti. I love that. I love these new towels. Those things. I mean, that's freaking prime right there.
Schwarbo, whole stadium, every seat is getting one of these, a Marlboro Cignetti towel for tomorrow. That is, IU has been like yearning, I think, for a football team to be great, and I think you would understand and chit-chat about that more than us, but IU has great fans, and they've been behind this football team. Big noon kickoff last week, game day this week. Are you excited to get back to Bloomington, and what do you expect out of these IU folks?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, it's like being there and like living that college experience there. In my opinion, there's no better college town, no better college campus than Indiana. I mean, it's just, you guys can go around, go catch out Roy's or wherever it is, but like this place is phenomenal. And like you go see the people that are behind it, and you see like the athletic department, everything like that. It's great. But then you see the fans too. Like looking at last week and how rowdy it was last week. I can't wait for this week. I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm excited to get there and get up on there with you guys and just feed into the crowd. This thing's going to be awesome.
We're incredibly thankful that you're coming. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Schwarber, what's the deal with the Bloomington game? Sync the biz is what they call it. Is that one of those things everyone's going to be doing before the game tomorrow?
And Roy's on Kirk. Is that what you're talking about, Kirkwood? Which one? Because
Roy's on Kirkwood, and then that's at Nick's. Sync the Biz at Nick's. That's another good drinking game that we got going on. The fields there across the street are going to be packed, slammed. I'm sure that they're already probably packing them out right now. But yeah, I mean, this place knows how to party. I'll tell you that. Indiana knows how to party. They're not afraid of that. And you add party and a full 50,000 plus stadium, it's going to be rocking.
Go ahead, AJ.
So when it comes to hitting in the postseason, I want to know, like, were you born with something that makes you just come alive when everything means the most, when everything is on the line? Because no matter what, it feels like you're going to be hitting dingers when the games truly matter.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like it's what you dream about. When you're in the postseason, like I got it lucky from an early age when I first came in the big leagues that I was thrown right into a postseason, and I've been lucky to make a good amount of them, and that it's just it's the best form of baseball. Everything's packed, everything's slammed, the crowd's all into it, or they're all against you when you're on the road. And you just got one goal in mind. It's about winning a baseball game at the end of the day. And I think that's why it's so fun, because it's just, you're trying to find a way at the end of the day, just to find a way to win. And that's just the cool thing about the postseason format.
How do you manage, and I think what we heard today was that you were a great football player. Ohio guy, good size, obviously forced to play football if you're in Ohio, athletic and your size. Why'd you pick baseball? And then also, with how much you fail in baseball, how do you maintain the confidence that the next time you go in there, the ball's leaving the fucking yard, even though you just whiffed nasty, which could potentially break you?
Well, the football part, yeah, I loved football, man. Like, I grew up watching AJ play over in Centerville, and like seeing some games over there, watch him play. But like, I'm just not as crazy as he is. Or
Smart.
Yeah, I'm just not as crazy, right? Like, you thought you were crazy, and then you go see these dudes that are freaking tackling dudes on Sundays and Saturdays. You're like, nah, I'm good. I'll go play baseball. Yeah, I longer life expectancy there, but
better on your brain, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just like in the failure part, right? Like, I don't know. It's such a funny game, right? Where you go up there. It's the only sport that you're on offense. You just don't have the ball, right? You're on offense. You just don't have any control over what happens, and I think that's kind of the fun part where, you could go up there and you could do everything freaking right and you're out, and then you could just do everything wrong and you go, how did I end up with a hit right here? And I think that's the beautiful thing about the game. But yeah, it's just you got to come up with an approach, you got to come up with a game plan, and then every time that you go up there and you think you have it, it's when you don't. And when you know what, you just go up there. Sometimes you're like, man, okay, this is what I want to do, and you might not be seeing it well. You're gonna be fine. It's just a weird game, but it's fun. It's awesome.
Is seeing it the most important part of it all, or is how you feel the most important part of it all?
It's definitely a mix. I mean, I feel like, confidence is a huge part of what we do. Where if I walk at the plate and I don't think this guy's going to get me out, the odds are going to be a little bit more stacked in my favor versus if I go up there, I'm going, holy shit, I don't know what I'm doing. What's this thing in my hand? Like, why does it feel like a 10-pound dumbbell right now? Like, what am I doing? But if I go up there thinking I got the hit, I got a better chance. And then obviously too, like the more like I can see the ball, right? Like there's times like you just feel like you just see it right out of the hand. It's just as soon as you let it go, you see it spinning, or you see the four seam, you see the hump on it, whatever it is for the curveball, the slider. You just see it, and it makes everything so much more enjoyable when you're playing the game when that's happening versus when it just looks like a white thing or a black thing just coming in there, and when you swing, it's already in the glove, and you're going, what the heck just happened?
The thought of you holding the bat, say, "Wow, this feels like it's 10 pounds today." Jeez, that would be so. Like I've had some warm-ups as a punter, and I'm like, "Wow, these balls feel heavier today." I'm not as much pop. Mentally, you can play a game, but you guys are literally doing that like 4 times a game, and if you hit it once or twice, heroic.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, it is. It's a wild mental sport. I don't know how you guys handle it. Ty Schmidt, actually massive baseball fan, has a question for you.
Yeah, Kyle, in terms of the World Series this year, you absolutely fucking raked against the Dodgers this year. I think you batted like over 400. Obviously, hit 3 dingers in your last game against them. But in terms of
hold on, what'd you say?
Yeah, he absolutely raked against the Dodgers this year, big time. I mean, we're talking Hall of Fame type numbers. So I don't know, are the Dodgers that good? We'll see. Or is Schwarber just a beast? But in terms of your own experience, a guy like Aaron Judge, who has kind of been slumping a little bit after an incredible season, like he hit a lot of balls hard in the last series, but he's finding a lot of gloves. Did you approach every series like a little bit differently? Like, was it easier to kind of move on and not feel like you were slumping from series to series in the playoffs? Or is it one of those things where now that they're in the World Series, like you would understand that the moment's a little bit bigger and he might tighten up a little bit?
Yeah, I think everyone's got to kind of realize that going into the series is that like that's the one guy that they're circling, right? Like it's him and Soto for the Yankees that they're going to circle those 2 guys and they're going to just say, they're not going to beat us. And there's going to be times he's going to get pitched to, right? Like we see it with Harp where he gets pitched to with guys on base, and then sometimes when there's dudes in scoring position, there's an open base, they're just gonna nibble around him and let him go to first base. But he's such a talent, right? And he's got the complete package to where I don't think the moment's ever going to be too big. It's just about managing the expectation versus okay, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do this versus just go in there with your approach like I'm sure everyone does, and this dude's going to rake. And if he doesn't, he's going to go to first base, and the dude behind him is going to do it. But yeah, it's getting to play against this guy for a while now. I mean, every time you step at the plate, you're like, okay, you take one step back when you're in the outfield when he comes up because you're thinking it's going to come off hot.
And let's talk about Garrett Cole. He's pitching for the Yankees, obviously, tonight in a massive World Series, start, right? Tonight's the first game.
Yeah,
so it all starts. This is the big time. Your record against Garrett Cole, I think, in the playoffs, very good. I mean, so not only are you great against the Dodgers, great against the Yankees, I think Schwarber would win the World Series himself if he was playing against both of these teams. What is it about Garrett Cole that makes him a special pitcher? Yeah, I know. I can't put you in a terrible spot there. But what is it about these particular pitchers and aces in the playoffs that you've had success, or what are they looking to do, you think, early in the first game of a World Series?
I think the biggest thing with like Garrett, right? Garrett is a guy who's going to pitch with his fastball, where, you know going into the game that, okay, this guy's got a fastball, and it's a really good fastball, and he's going to love to go out there and use it, especially the first time around. And then that second, maybe third time, fourth time through the lineup, that he's going to start mixing in a lot of different things. But everything's power, right? It's all power with him, and he's got that unique ability where he has power stuff, and he's able to put it where he wants it. And I think that the thing that, when we've gotten to him is, you kind of hit that mistake, right? Like that's what, you live on in the postseason is you're trying to find that mistake. If it's a pitch, if it's a fielding error, whatever it is, you're just trying to find that mistake out in the field. And then when you see that, you try to pounce on it right away. You just try to play clean baseball as much as you can. And then as soon as that mistake happens, you got to pounce on it.
Yeah, AJ.
Schwarber, I know they said he's not pitching, but why wouldn't you love to see Shohei pitch in the World Series?
There it is. Great question.
His manager comes out and says he's absolutely not doing it. Is there even a 1% chance that he possibly could pitch, and wouldn't you like to see it?
I think it'd be a really cool thing to happen, right? Like that would be pretty crazy, right? When we got the World Baseball Classic matchup with Trout and Ohtani there at the end of the game in the ninth inning with the game on the line, like that was an awesome moment. But I think the biggest thing you got to look at too is just the guy's health, right? Like this is, at the end of the day, this guy's a huge investment for the Dodgers, and if you feel like that there's any kind of percent chance that he could, you're putting him at risk, that they're not going to do it. But if he's healthy enough, like he's going to do it. But, going now to Dave's words, and he's saying that he's not going to do it. I don't think he's going to do it, but, don't say anything's not possible, right? Because next thing you know, you could see a Shohei Ohtani warm up there in Game 7 in the pen, coming out to close it out.
That'd be good for baseball, Schwarbo. Speaking of good for baseball, do you guys all know that the Shohei thing is good for baseball, like other players around the league? How do you guys view the Shohei experience?
Yeah, you don't see this. It's just something you just don't see, right? Where there's a guy who can, be an ace, right? And be one of the best hitters in the league. You just don't see it. And I think that you have to be able to, obviously when you're playing against it, right? Like you're like rooting against it because you don't want him to have any success because we're trying to win. But, when you're able to kind of step back and look from it from afar, you go, man, this is really cool to see a guy who can do two really things that are so hard to do in the game. Everyone puts their energy and their effort towards one thing, right? And they try to be the best as they can be at it. Now, trying to do it at two things, where it's offense and defense on the pitching side, and you're trying to create new pitches, things like that. Like it's just baffling me. It's wild. So like that's why you enjoy it. It's pretty cool to see.
I like that you guys don't have a hater community over there in the MLB. You can kind of respect that. That's because you guys are on a road so damn long. It's hard to get hits. You got to have success and respect. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Kyle, when you won the World Series, what was the clubhouse vibe like? Obviously, both these teams, it's LA, it's New York. There's a lot of pressure, of course, for any team to win, but especially in those two cities. What do you think they're going through? And could you compare it to your situation when you were with Chicago, or is every clubhouse kind of different?
Yeah, every clubhouse is going to be different, right? It all comes down to the dudes that you're with, right? Like it doesn't matter, right? Like city for city, it just matters about the people in the clubhouse and who you're with, and the like the more time that you're enjoying with everyone, and the more time that you're looking forward to walking through those doors, just not because you're in the postseason, not because you're in the World Series, just because you generally enjoy these people. Like that's a difference maker. That's something that is like, it gives you a slight edge, right? Like everyone can look at each other on paper and be like, man, that's a good team, or this is a team that's full of stars. But at the end of the day, you got to play together, and you got to enjoy each other. You got to love each other, and that's going to just give you that slight advantage when you go into a series. That's going to mean who's holding the trophy up and who's not.
Schwarbo, long time on the road with each other. Having that clubhouse be tight, I assume, is difficult. I assume that's not an easy thing, especially with the amount of drama that could kind of creep in.
Yeah. I think that's like the fun thing for throughout the course of the year, right? Because it's like a bunch of brothers. We're all family, right? Like we spend so much damn time with each other. We're when we're on the road, we got an off day on the road. We're on a 10-game road trip with an off day on there, make it 11 days, right? Like you're spending more time with these dudes than you do your own family and your kids. So, you got to find a way, and it doesn't matter. You find a way to connect with each other. You find a way to do fun things with each other. You find a way to just enjoy the game together. And when, there's going to be things throughout a season that pop up where, everyone's going to sit down and have a man-to-man talk, right? But
Schwarber clogged the toilet. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Clogged the toilet.
How do you unclog
it? Why are there skid marks on the back of the toilet right now? What's going on? Why is there?
Yeah.
Don't put your hand in.
Why is there what's going on here? But no, it's fun, man. Like it's easy. It's easy. It's hard. You know what I mean? But that's like that's the cool thing about our game, right? We just spend so much time with each other, and you're trying to you play a long ass season, and then you just get into a tournament, and then you go see who's going to be the best team at the end of the tournament.
Yeah, well, we understand that you are a man who performs under the bright lights in fantastic fashion, and it feels like this IU Hoosier football team does the same damn thing.
Oh, yeah.
We can't wait to see you tomorrow, man. Thank you so much for agreeing to be the guest picker tomorrow.
Yeah, excited, boys. I'll see you there. Pop food open before I get there, and I'll join you.
Nice.
All right, you got it. Yeah, you damn right. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Schwarber! IU legend. I didn't know he went to IU until obviously that Chicago Cubs World Series run, and then every local news channel was leading show with IU alum Schwarber hits another dinger last night. It's like, damn, I didn't know he was an IU product. Then in the game day release of him being a guest picker, they showed some highlights of him at IU. Bombs.
Metal bat.
Metal bat.
Yeah. Oh, metal bat. It seems unfair. Unfair to give him a metal bat.
I once heard a story of him hitting 5 home runs in a single game. I don't know if it was at IU or a place before that, but coming up, he was hitting five home run games, maybe even a 6 home run game.
Did you say that he hit 3 against the Dodgers?
Yeah, in the last game he played against the Dodgers this year, he had a 3-dinger game. I think, he batted like .417 against the Dodgers this year.
He's legit one of the best power hitters of all time, bar
he set a record this year for most leadoff home runs in a season.
Yeah.
We'll see how he does picking games tomorrow.
Yeah, if he leads off well.
We'll see how it is tomorrow, won't we, AJ?
I guess we will. I mean, so is he out hunting somewhere, he told you guys?
Yeah, well, he was on a hunting excursion, so they didn't know how the connection was going to be on whether or not he could get on. He said he would love to come on. And then the timing could be an issue because he could still be out in the woods. Someone just
gets shot.
I just saw something flash and blow up over there.
Sound like a
something flashed and blew up over there.
Transformer. Sig just flicked a lick Sig on a transformer somewhere or something.
Yeah, it could be. There is massive smoke coming too.
Brother.
I don't know if it's a cannon, a gun, or what happened over there, but there's certainly something. But we'll keep our eyes peeled. Just another week, another adversity.
That's Indiana.
And that's football, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Have a phenomenal weekend. We'll be back for Overreaction Monday. We got our picks and obviously game day tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. We'll see you. Goodbye. Nailed it.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Yeah.
A lot of pop.
All right, let's take a break, and then on the other side, we got Coach Narduzzi. We'll do our picks, and life is good. It is wonderful here down in IU. AJ, you're doing a great job. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Take 5.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
I've never taken a back seat to anybody and don't plan on starting now. Purdue sucks. But so does Michigan in Ohio State. Get out of you.
The Rose Bowl has a lot of tradition. People that follow football. For me and the team, it's more of a business trip. Whether we're playing in the Rose Bowl or in a parking lot, it's all the same. 2 times we were picked next to last. In 2022, we won the conference championship. And in 2017, we inherited an 8-45 team and won 8 in a row and played JMU the last game of the year for the conference championship. Now, I'm not into making predictions. That's just a historical fact.
Do we like the NCAA?
When you can hide behind a committee, like I wish when I was asked, I wish when I was asked, like, why did you punt? I could say my subcommittee recommended I punt. Take charge and lead, leader.
Congratulations, Coach.
No. We're only halfway through the race, bro. And I like to get to the hotel as late as possible. I don't like spending a lot of time in a hotel. And we'll get there, feed them, maybe have a quick meeting in the evening and get up and play. My weight guy and my director of football ops, they've got all these designs. Go out Thursday, this is what you got to do. No. We ain't doing that, guys. So, we're going to get there as late as possible. We're going to wake up and we're going to play the game and we're going to come back. That's what we did. We got to the hotel about 8 o'clock at night, ate our meal, went to bed, woke up, played 3:30, kicked their ass, and came home.
Well, nonetheless, as of February 1st, Pat McAfee is officially a contributor with WWE.
I want to see Pat McAfee tonight.
I've been preparing for this my entire life.
McAfee wins! McAfee wins! Pat McAfee has done it again! It's time to toast the boys and toast the brand. McAfee's wanted to drink beer with Stone Cold forever. Stunner!
There was a point in my life, all I could think about doing was professional wrestling.
McAfee closing in on another WrestleMania victory.
First, we're going to have to get the okays, obviously. And we did from people high up. They were the only people that knew for a while. There was like 3 people that knew in the whole world that was going to potentially be a situation for a little bit.
City of Stars, Boston Connors here. We will be there tonight. Nobody's supposed to know we're here. It's going to be tough. And if you're a man that's only known for wearing tank tops, you kind of got to cover it up. I didn't see him. Hey, I'm Pat. Nice to meet you. He's hanging in the back. One second. Here you go. I put this on my face. I feel shit. Who's not going to be in here?
Nobody. This is you until you go out.
Come on, dude. Let's go and take a look around. There's some bunk beds there. There's a shitter and a shower here in the back.
He sat in that bus 6, 7, 8 hours, 9, 10 hours.
I'm coming down that thing. Holy fuck, what a view that's going to be. Hell yeah. Look at all those fucking people that are going to be there.
Just waiting, for an opportunity to potentially have a WrestleMania moment.
It's ridiculous. This is awesome. WWE is just like the best at operating. They take care of the non-obvious. So we're very thankful to be here. And tonight should be fucking sick. Hell yeah. I think there's like 3 people that know I'm here.
Are we not supposed to come in here?
No, yeah.
All right.
4 now. Look at you.
Won't fucking say a word.
I'll see you at SoFi. You going to be in LA?
I don't know, George. Is it,
it's a loaded question.
George, we don't know, George. You don't know, maybe.
What's up, stud? Oh, nice.
As soon as I saw George showcase that tight end university tank top, I knew there was a chance old George about to do something special.
Are you kidding, boys? Welcome to WrestleMania!
The night was getting late. We weren't sure. We didn't know if a moment was going to pop up where maybe my services could be utilized.
I haven't been in a ring since SummerSlam. Okay, like not even in one.
All I wanted was the Miz to have an opportunity to have a match, just a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, good guy. Stand there.
And then the Miz mentions, I sent out an open challenge, and we go,
oh my God.
There it is.
And I put out an open challenge, and no one responded. Why? Because I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome! Let's go! Wait a minute! I feel McAfee's here!
I have walked out into a stadium as a WWE superstar probably 1,000,000 times in my head.
WrestleMania was missing Pat McAfee in the Pat McAfee Show!
And I'm thankful to the WWE Universe that said hello whenever I came out on that massive fucking stage.
By the way, there's only 2 announcers undefeated in WrestleMania history, me and Pat. I can't believe McAfee's here! Hello, beautiful people!
You're a legend, dog. You're the best, dog. Hello, miss. None of us saw this alleged open challenge that you said. But good news. This is my WrestleMania tank top. If you still would like a match, why don't you let me beat your ass right here, right now? You all want to see The Miz versus Pat McAfee right here, right now? I'm the host of WrestleMania, and I cannot make matches official. Miz, I do believe your tiny balls are showing. Tiny balls. Tiny balls. Baby meat as well. There's 80,497 people here. Somebody has to be able to make a match official somewhere.
I am the dog father and the host of WrestleMania, so I feel like I could make that match happen. Right now, we got a ref, we got you, Let's get cracking. I'm out. Let's go. I don't do it.
And McAfee go right after Miz with the right hand, driving Miz back into the corner. Pat McAfee in action.
This is a blatant sneak attack. He takes his duties as host of WrestleMania.
Oh yes, Buster!
This derelict shows up, and you
check out his tank top though. He's got sparkles on it.
You're behind this, aren't you?
But no, I had no idea. You said the same thing in the Rumble. I didn't know this guy was showing up. Oh, what a kick by McAfee!
Piss.
Hey, baby boss! Baby boss! Tiny meat!
In a $7,000 tuxedo.
George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not sure how wise that was. McAfee's got the official distracted in the ring. Kittle just took out Miz. Kittle telling McAfee to go up top. McAfee heading up to the top rope. And taking out the Miz. Now we're talking. Miz may never win another match. McAfee closing in on another WrestleMania victory. Surprise here tonight at WrestleMania goes Hollywood.
That match was awesome. I had so much fun there. That was a good time. The putt was fucking hilarious. You got a tiny balls champ going. I had a feeling. You're sitting here all day. Oh, I wanted to text you earlier. I was told not to text you.
Well, of course. Nobody fucking texts you.
I was told not to text you.
Dude.
You had a hell of a show. I'm so thankful to the people at the WWE. It was a super cool night, super cool moment, and I'm very thankful for it all. 5:30 a.m. Sunday. This day started 6:30 a.m. Saturday. So much cool shit happened in between now and then. Joke of an existence. I'm very thankful for everything. Let's go take a nap. If you're the NCAA and you're sitting in that stupid office in Indianapolis where we happen to live, it's a great city. It's a great town. And there's a dumb institution that is ruling over college football. Because if you don't want these people dancing... Celebration, bitches! What's up?
Is that the president's name?
Oh, that's Curt Cignetti.
was asked, like, why did you punt? I could say my subcommittee recommended I punt. Talk your shit.
Hey, why? Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Welcome back, hour 3 of the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk, sitting here at Pat's desk as Pat and Boston Connor are killing it in Bloomington, Indiana, high atop Memorial Stadium. Football is what we're doing, Pat. I see you, Pat, bringing the boom. You got some cheerleader behind you? I hear some noise.
A little bit of noise.
There's been a lot of noise here. There's the crew down here. They're setting the towels ready for everybody to bring the boom. Ready for everybody to bring the boom down here. Obviously, they've made their way to us. 52,000 ties are about to be laid out here at Memorial Stadium in lovely Bloomington, Indiana, as the IU Hoosiers, who are currently undefeated, haven't trailed for a second on the season, led by head coach Curt Cignetti, host the Washington Huskies, and Steve Belichick.
Oh, look out for Steve. Forgot about that. Holy shit. We're always talking about Sigs. I just forgot about Steve Belichick playing here.
And sometimes you see Steve Belichick, you think of Sigs too.
Yeah, all the time. And Pete Carroll's boy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kidding me?
Yeah, how could you not?
I forget. The Huskies got a little bit of a program here.
Yeah, they haven't had a lot of wins. They're going to have to deal with a buzzsaw. Speaking of a lot of wins, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is the head coach of an ACC football program who, clean sweep.
Easy.
Last night, ass beat.
Domination.
5 interceptions, 3 pick sixes from the defense.
Jeez.
The offense is a juggernaut now. Been a question mark, I think, since the beginning of this guy's kind of tenure. They had Whipple and Kenny Pickett there. They want to win the ACC. They're going to be able to have offense again. Boom, they got it. Boom, they got defense. Boom, they got special teams.
What?
Boom, they got it all. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 1997, Chris Bickle, head coach of the University of Pittsburgh Panther football team, Pat Narduzzi.
Yeah, coach.
How are you?
Do I have to add a boom in there? Boom!
Boom! Boom! Boom! Boom! Coach, congrats on another massive win. You guys are undefeated. I was looking ahead. You have SMU next. You got Clemson in the future. You got Louisville in the future. How are you balancing what's possible with what's happening right now? What is your messaging to the team off of this incredible start that you've had this year?
You know, Pat, it's 1 week at a time. I mean, we're worried about the team we beat yesterday, Syracuse, pretty handedly at home, and it's on to SMU. I mean, we're worried about SMU now, just going one at a time.
How come you talked a little shit to Neil Brown in a tweet? I think you said nice weather, right? We had fun.
Check.
We had fun. We did that entire thing. Was that? I saw.
You read that wrong. I mean, it was a beautiful day in Pittsburgh that day of practice. The weather was good. I mean, shoot. And we were having fun. Practice.
Coach, obviously you've been the University of Pittsburgh head coach for a while now. Does it feel special with this team? Obviously with Eli playing quarterback, does this feel like a special run? And did you know it in training camp? When did you know?
You know what? I think as a coach, you always feel confident about the team you have. I felt confident a year ago, and then things start to gel, and you start to gain confidence, win after win. And our team is playing complementary offense, defense, and special teams. I mean, the last 2 weeks, our defense have played lights out. We were young on defense, brand new corners, 3 corners that graduated a year ago that really good football players for us. And then this year you're looking at a whole new D-line, pretty much new D-line coach. Our D-line coach left for the Colts. So, I mean, all those things, in place, they've just kind of gotten better every week. And then I expect our offense to explode next week. So it's just kind of, working off of each other.
That's awesome. Connor has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, how much different is it playing on a Thursday night? Was this past week, much quicker, much easier? And then looking forward to the weekend, is that another thing where, you have a little time, you just recruit your ass off and get next year's boys in there?
Yeah, I like the Thursday games as long as you didn't play the Saturday before. As long as you have an open weekend prior to, it's kind of a half open week, and then you got a little extra time on the backside of it, so we get a couple extra days to be fresh and mentally get ready for Southern Methodist, a really good football team down there in Dallas this weekend.
How's the University of Pittsburgh students and fans taking to this year's team? We excited? We got a lot of buzz down there in Oakland, or what?
I would think so. I'm kind of in my little cocoon down here in the Durats building down on the south side, right next to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we kind of are insulated from everything up there. I'm sure our kids, getting patted on the back as we go week by week, going 1-0. But we try to ground them out when they get here. And, I always say you can coach them real hard when you're winning. You got to be careful when you're losing. But when you're winning, I'm on our coaches about just making sure we get more out of them. We need to get more every week to continue this run.
Well, you're continuing to do that. Go ahead, AJ.
Coach, I know you guys brought in Cade Bell as your OC, and you guys have a lot of tempo now on offense. Is that something that you've been looking into for years? And how has that changed your team?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of always try to base your offense on the players you have. AJ, I think we did the same thing with D'Antonio at Ohio State or Michigan State. From your old Ohio State days. So I think you do that. Back when Kenny Pickett was here, we were fast tempo. We were spreading it out and throwing it and catching people off guard, and we're kind of back to that. We didn't do that the last couple of years because we had some good tailbacks and just a different football team. But with Eli and even Nate Yarnell as our other quarterback, that I think is special as well. I think that's kind of where we came upon that. And again, Cade Bell is an excellent football coach. Has done a great job for us so far. We just are looking to continue to get better.
Tone Diggs, Duquesne grad, has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, Eli Holstein has played incredible for you. Obviously, he transfers in from Bama. Is that a situation, did you reach out to Coach Saban just to get his thoughts? Or when you bring in transfer guys, do you ever reach out to their previous coaches to get their thoughts on the guy before you bring him in?
Yeah, we do. I did not reach out to Coach Saban. I think he was in there was a lot of stuff going on in that program at that point. So, but we did reach out to some assistant coaches that we knew that were on that staff. To double check, but we had a pretty good character evaluation on him prior to. We had some connections, and we utilized those connections.
Chris Bickle, class of 1997, he's got big pockets.
Oh, he's the best.
He's got big pockets. He's not the only one down there though from the University of Pittsburgh. Do you feel like Pitt is in a good position with this modern NIL transfer portal, everything that is available for the Panthers?
I do, Pat. I feel good about what our guys are getting. It can always get better. We expect it to get better, year by year. I think with the new house settlement, things like that will happen. But I also want guys that are hungry, that want to play football. They want to get developed, and ultimately in the end, you all want to go to the NFL. So sometimes money can turn you the wrong way, and you played enough years in the NFL to see guys that got paid didn't play so good, and guys that didn't get paid that are hungry. I'll never forget this. This is last spring before Aaron Donald retired from the National Football League. I saw him in the weight room. He was in there lifting with his wife, getting a workout in, and he said, Coach, if this NIL stuff was going on when I was in college, he goes, I would have never got where I got. He goes, I would never have been hungry enough. I'd already got paid thinking I've already arrived. And ultimately, you think about what Aaron Donald is. That to me, that's a testament to who he is as a player and as a person, and he knows what drove him. And I don't want our guys to ever forget kind of how they got where they are.
Amen. A chopper just flew over the stadium, and we'd like to say thanks to any of the pilots that decided to do that. It was nice to see him as you were giving that answer. It's a very real answer. AJ and I have talked about this. Me as an 18-year-old, I took out a loan to get $40,000 so I could have a good time in college. Like 27% interest rate. I forget what it was. It was terrible. It was one of the worst loans of all time. But if I didn't make it to the NFL, I'm in debt like everybody else. But I was living like a king, $40,000. These guys now, you get a couple $100,000, I would not have been the right person to have it, let alone the adversity, that you need to go through to kind of get to the point that you're at. Feels like you are very, I don't want to say like put an emphasis on that, but you want your guys to kind of have, old school, build it the right way, right guys playing for Pitt. And I think that's the only sustainable model. Do you agree with that or no?
I totally agree. I mean, I want our guys to love football. I don't want our guys to love money. Through my coaching career, I never chased a dollar bill. To me, making the right moves. I'm at Pittsburgh for a reason. I could have been I could have taken some other head coaching jobs, and I've turned them down because I wasn't worried. I wanted to go to a place that loved football, that we could recruit and win a championship. Which we've been to the championship game twice. Hope to go here again soon if the cards are right and our kids continue to play and our coaches do a great job. But it's about having the opportunity to win. It's not about money. You guys heard this for years and years. Money does not make happiness.
No.
I coach football because I love it. I don't see a paycheck. It goes direct deposit. I don't see a darn. I don't spend any money. People go, hey, where'd you go eat last night? Like, I go home and go to sleep and come back to the office the next day. That's, again, so I don't do it to make money. I didn't get into coaching to make money. My dad coached at Youngstown State. He was the athletic director and head football coach at Youngstown, making $45,000. Like, you don't do this to make money. And I don't want our players to think it's all about that, because you're doing it for the wrong reason. You'll never get where you ultimately could be.
Money brings you freedom, I think. There's certain freedom that money can bring if you have none of it. But the happiness model is just it's not real. It's not. My entire life, I was like, I want to be rich. 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 That's all I wanted. And then you get rich and you take care of people, and then you get a little bit of freedom. But then you realize, like, well, wait, I'm not. Hold on. I thought I was supposed to just be happy every day. And then you realize, like, traffic still exists, drama still exists, depression still exists, anxiety still exists. Everything that was bad beforehand still exists, even though, a little bit more freedom. And if you're passionate about something and you stick to the process, I think then you have a chance to go. That's why I got a chance to talk to you. I think I was calling a Thursday night football game, and I left the room so impressed with the way you handled it, feeling like you're the perfect guy for the city of Pittsburgh. Happy you're still there doing your thing. Ty Schmidt has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, speaking of NIL and kind of the new way recruiting is, a couple years ago when Jordan Addison transferred from you guys to USC, it was kind of like hey, this is bullshit. You guys are just openly poaching our guy. How have you adapted to the way things are now? And does it ever get, tiring or like exhausting knowing that you almost have to recruit your current roster as much as you have to recruit incoming recruits and people in the transfer portal?
It's the name of the game nowadays. And, obviously that was one of the first transfers out there. I don't think it came down to money. Matter of fact, I think he made more money was here. Maybe some false promises that were made. But, I think you learn from all those situations. But we really haven't changed what we're doing. If that's what they want to do is chase a dollar or think they're chasing that dollar, go ahead. We've had some guys, try to do that, and things haven't worked out well for them. So I think it's a testament to what we do, how we do it here, and our guys are going to be successful. If they continue to stay here and do things the way we coach them offensively, defense, special teams wise, they're going to have more success here in Pittsburgh because of the way we do it and the culture we have here.
Coach, hate every answer you gave today, because I do fear that backyard brawl result is going to, we need to. Mm-hmm. And he puts out that tweet about the weather being nice.
Just dunking almost.
And how much fun. We're having so much fun.
Goes on and on.
On and on and on and on and on and on. Coach, you're doing great things, man. The city of Pittsburgh obviously loves a winner, so they're probably going to be much nicer to you now when you're undefeated. But you represent that city perfectly whenever it comes to football. And we're incredibly grateful for you making some time on this Feel Good Friday to stop by and chat, brother.
Hey, we appreciate you having us on here at Pittsburgh. We got a great football team, and just continue to watch the Panthers. We're going to put on a little show down in Dallas as well.
Well, Mountaineers, too, Mountaineers,
The who?
Mountaineers, good
The
team.
who?
Okay, all right.
Whoa,
ladies and
whoa.
gentlemen, head coach of the University of Pittsburgh Panthers, Pat Narduzzi. Thank you.
Coach.
He was a good man. I did that Thursday night football, and I got to call a pick game. Big one. Mm-hmm. Big pick game. I forget who it was.
UNC.
It was the same night.
UNC.
Who?
UNC.
Yeah. It was a massive game for the time. And we sat down and talked to Narduzzi, and obviously I did not know him before then. I knew what he was kind of like made out to be. And there were some people in Pittsburgh that maybe weren't Pitt fans that were like, hey, you going to talk to Nardufus or what? That whole thing. That's how Pittsburgh people are going to be. And as soon as I left the conversation, I'm like, this guy's all ball. Like, this is a football, like, almost perfect guy for the city of Pittsburgh. Now, if you don't win, like, city of Pittsburgh doesn't care. Doesn't care about you or the program. But whenever they win, University of Pittsburgh fans get real excited. The hail to Pitt start getting louder. The yellow seats in Heinz Field all of a sudden get filled with humans. Mm-hmm. So that's what it is. It's good what he's able to do. Not easy. Pitt's not going to be. ACC's obviously tough. They got Clemson later. They got Louisville later. SMU is a great football team. They got them next week. Not going to be easy for them, but they got the team this year, it feels like. And if their defense is going to do what they did last night to the McCord, they're going to be a problem for anybody.
Yeah, and West Virginia's got no chance.
Whoa.
I mean, we're just getting down to brass tacks here. I got my WVU shoes on. All right, I wore them here. We're going into Saturday. It's college football time, and here we are just sitting with Coach Neil Brown. and we've read a couple articles about Coach Neil Brown. And they're not great. I don't know if we have the.
I hate to break it to everybody too. Nick Saban's not going to coach at West Virginia.
No, turns out he will not sign up for that dumpster fire. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame.
Hey, that's a real rumor going around West Virginia right now, especially because he went and spoke in Morgantown the other day. Him and he got brought in to speak at some conference or convention in Morgantown, West Virginia. Former Governor Manchin, former senator too, I think, congressman.
Current senator, I believe.
Current senator. He's not in a party though, right? I think he's decided I'm not doing
independent. IND.
I think he said I'm not part of a party.
Okay.
Really?
I think I'm not 100% sure how that works. Obviously, I don't know the political world enough. But Manchin was there, Ren Baker was there, Saban's talking, and all the chitter chatter about West Virginia and
make it
Nick
happen.
Saban singing country roads, this year, and with what's going on in West Virginia. There was like a real groundswell on the internet, like, holy shit, Nick Saban's going to be coaching. He's coming back home.
As
he's
an
your coach,
assistant, right?
What?
I think
as a consultant.
Yeah, as like
a consultant.
Why wouldn't he be head coach?
Because they got Neil Brown.
Okay.
I mean, coach can finally learn
We will
something
add him to the
from
staff.
Neil Brown.
Yeah, so that was not what was
sure
said.
how that worked.
Everybody that I'm hearing is thinking Coach Saban's going to coach the West Virginia Mountaineers. I fear that is not in the realm of any reality. Now, I do appreciate Ren Baker sending an email out to all West Virginia fans saying, hey, listen, nobody's more bummed out than the players and the coaches. Let's continue to support them. We got home games left. The early schedule, not great, but let's keep him moving. I don't know if you're going to get them back, Ren, but
Hey, was that needed? Was that needed, Pat? Do you need to send an email to say, "Hey guys, everything's cool here. We still love this
Gosh
team"?
darn right.
I don't think he has a good pulse on these West Virginia fans. So, as a person that received 27 death threats, after a couple of missed kicks in the first quarter in a massive game, massive game. They're in the first quarter against Pitt. But as a person that understands this West Virginia fan base, it's like, especially if they get their hopes up and the expectations up, and it's like, hey, you're our team. You're representing our state. You're supposed to go deliver. We're a hard-working group. We love ball. We show up for you. And then you're going to go out and lay an egg like that? I don't think so. So Ren sending the email and, getting out, I think in theory, good idea. But the people in the hills of West Virginia that show up for West Virginia, they don't give a fuck about Ren Baker's email. They don't, It's like, hey, we're done with the climb, bub. That is kind of how some people feel. Now, can Neil Brown write this shit? And for the rest,
It would be a great story, wouldn't it?
what do you?
That
what
was
was the?
I think that was Ty made a noise.
I mean, we've been doing. You know what? I appreciate the hell out of you because how many times have you? Now you didn't get it out completely because it's just so funny. How many times have you said exactly what you're about to say over the last 4 years? About 100 times, and we have. People have trusted the climb as much as they can. And now people, it's 127 hours. Somehow that climb, people are wedged in between two boulders and they're having
Got their arm off.
Yeah, they're having to slice their arm off with a butter knife.
Oh, James Franklin.
I did talk. Herb Street. What was he? I don't know if it was off air or on air. He was like, "You West Virginia people really go like this." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I've been super positive about Neil Brown on air every time I talk about him. I think I have been.
Yeah,
I've at least tried to.
Right
be.
here, you've been legit since the day I've been anywhere around here. West Virginia Neil Brown. You've always scolded people for trying to get negative. Yeah.
I've tried my best. Legitimately, I have tried my absolute best. And I understand that, even though I wasn't around West Virginia a lot there after I leave and we end up, kind of
having reconciliation.
I think that was more on my end than on their end. I had to kind of get over a lot of the things that were said to me and how I think things went, even though it was my actions and everything like that. So since getting back on board with feeling confident enough to represent West Virginia. I never wanted to say anything about West Virginia there for a while because anytime I brought up West Virginia, the next thing that was getting brought up is I was the worst human of all time and I should quit. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm not going to even talk about West Virginia, even though I happen to have a successful NFL career as a West Virginia Mountaineer and everything we got into, I was always like scared to be somebody that talks about West Virginia, because the thing that was coming immediately after me talking about it was, well, you're the reason why. And it's like, all right, fuck it. I'm just going to distance myself, not going to do it. So since getting confident enough to talk and be, like have some pride about being the all-time leading scorer at West Virginia, All-American at 2 positions, all that type of stuff. Start like having some confidence about it and talk about it. I've tried my best to be like the most positive. West Virginia's a great place, because if I'm not talking positive about West Virginia, who will? Like nobody else is really looking to do it. So I've tried my best. But this team fucking loses big games all the time. And it's like, at some point, you got to win one, and like,
well,
I mean, you don't.
At some point,
you don't have to, I guess, but you should. But yeah, you technically don't have to ever win one of
I guess in theory, you don't have to win one. It's not like a law of
Somebody
averages.
has
You have
to win. Somebody's got to win it.
But at like some point, like you've been there a long time. Your guys have been in there a long time. Your coaches have been in there a long time. You've changed the building to be how you want the building to be. You've added this. You've added that. Like at some point, you gotta prove that it's all worth it. And for me, that could be this weekend for West Virginia.
Who they playing?
I don't have
Arizona.
I mean, the kid.
Oh, yeah.
Arizona, yeah. Okay.
They got this.
The Irish Goose.
Yeah.
Tetaroa.
I've heard West Virginia's pass defense is good, though, so maybe.
All right. No, the
Saban will fix it. Saban is coaching staff of Santa Claus and Jesus Christ. They'll come in and figure it out.
Okay. Let's make our picks, AJ. I'm done talking about it. Narduzzi, though, has been there a long time. And, like, obviously he's had some years that aren't great, but, like, he has years that are great. It's like for Neil.
Just got to hit the portal hard. Maybe a new DC. Play some defense, and then we got Nico.
To be honest,
Nico
maybe this year is a great year for him. Maybe this is his great.
Oh, really?
See, that's part of the problem, too.
That's last year.
Oh, yeah.
Last year was great.
And they lost 4 games.
You're lowering the standard? Is that what you're doing, Tone?
Yeah.
You can't do that. I've listened to every good coach say you can't fucking change the standards.
Standard is a standard.
West Virginia is West Virginia. I would just like to one last take here about West Virginia.
Okay.
University is awesome. Students are committed. Alumni willing to give money. Billionaires giving money. Ready to give money. Me, I pledged $1 million to the collective. Now I'm going to have some demands. Okay. I don't see my family a lot during the fall season to get said money. So if we're just forking over $1 million, I got some questions and some things I would like to get sorted here about why the fuck we don't win any game. That is a big game. We'll get there. But the brand, the logo, the uniform, the jersey, the opportunity, everything. You're in the Big 12. Like everything about it is, like everything about it is could go. And instead, we just don't. And that's why you look at the situation that's happening here at Indiana. It's like literally logo, brand, fans, school, like everything could go. And Cignetti's coming in and just activated it.
Bam,
and
it happened so
and
quick,
they're
too.
going.
That's the thing. All of a sudden, here we go. Like Indiana last year and this year. Like, it's a different world.
Sig would have loved to have been the West Virginia head coach.
Sig played at West Virginia. His dad coached at West Virginia.
Yeah.
Should throw the kitchen sink at his OC. Because we need Sig here.
Sinceri?
It's not a bad idea.
No, Mike Shanahan.
Shanahan, sorry.
Shanahan.
He's a pick guy, though. So that might be tough.
Sinceri, the old safety for the Alabama.
Swing.
Defense, he's decent.
This is Tino Sinceri, his brother who played quarterback at Pitt.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember him as well. Okay. I like that.
Sinceri family, there's one on Washington too, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of. There was the safety who played at
Vinny,
Bama,
right?
Vinny Sinceri.
Vinny was awesome.
And then Tino played at Pitt and Central Catholic in Pittsburgh.
Love it. I love it.
There's a lot. There's a lot of Pisons in obviously Pittsburgh. Cignetti family's one of them. But hey, Neil, let's go, bub. Like let's. I'm trying. I've tried my best to be as positive as possible.
You've been very positive. Very positive.
A lot of people say you're being sarcastic with your positivity.
No,
it's like
that's
no
on
shit.
That's on them.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't. Okay. Yeah.
I haven't seen it. To me, I take it as you're being serious.
Took him over Kansas State, and we all knew, like everyone in the world, even people without brains were like, yeah, Kansas State's obviously going to win this game. But
I did say that on the game day set as Reese was trying to corral us. Kirk Herbstreit looks over to me after the West Virginia-Kansas State pick, and he goes, West Virginia never wins this game.
No way.
I was like, I know.
But what if they did?
I know.
What if they did, though?
I had faith. So did Nick.
World would explode.
So I think Nick did as well. It's like, yeah, you know what? We can still get there. Now we can't get there. I don't know where we're getting to.
taking the
Ty?
They got absolutely
They got ponded.
GG.
Like one of them baseballs you hit last night on the show.
Yeah, bingo with Shohei.
I don't know if you saw Pretty Much Sports last night. Connor played MLB The Show. Electrifying.
Tough loss.
Hard
though.
game.
I missed it, Con, man. I'm gonna
Tough
go back
game.
and check.
It's a tough game.
One
man. It's
too
hard
many
to hit
mistakes.
baseball.
Yeah, but it's not about the mistakes. It's about the moments. And here's one. Shohei.
Down by 3, 2.
Boom.
That game
Turn the sound
was
up.
Awesome.
It is.
It's a great game.
Boom! Boom! Yeah! But bring the boom! That's what we do! Holy shit! Wow! Look who shows up!
Look at that game, though. That looks
Look
amazing.
who shows
It's
up!
a great game.
Boom! 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 Yes!
It was
Holy
electric.
fuck!
Oh. I love
It was
that
electric.
action.
Hey, we were sitting down in the think tank watching this asshole play this game, and it was captivating, man. I'm telling you, like 45 minutes to an hour straight, just seeing what this big dumb dipshit would do playing baseball. It was awesome. That was a great show.
It's a hard game. Hey, look, I got a lot of respect for guys that make it to the show. I've obviously made it to the show. Hitting bombs, back-to-back homers.
Why didn't you tell Schwarber
Center
any
field,
tips?
too.
I thought about it, but I didn't want to rub it in that I'm still playing. You know, I know he's on hunting trips. I'm in the Fall Classic, so I didn't want to rub that in his face.
All right, let's make some picks here, shall we?
So those start out 0-1, I guess, because of last night?
Yeah, but we can just wipe it off the board, right?
Yeah, that one didn't really. Thursday usually doesn't matter, does it?
No.
Well, I would take it if it's a win, for sure. So let's not start setting precedent
Yeah,
about
you're
things not mattering. But if we all lost, we all move on.
Well, you didn't have all the information when it comes to Puka.
That's a big deal.
That is true.
That's
We did not know.
Massive part of the puzzle.
All right, so we'll just be predicting one less game this weekend. Of
course,
And it
okay.
was last night's game, obviously.
Okay. Here we go. Ravens taking on the Browns. They're traveling to Cleveland. The Ravens are 8.5-point favorites taking on Jameis Winston, right, in the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, for me, just football gods feel like they're going to punish Cleveland a little bit.
Yeah, a little
It
bit.
feels like football gods are going to punish Cleveland. That's how my mind works. So I just pulled an Adidas tag out of my hair there. It's been sitting in there, I guess, all show, stabbing me in the top of the head. I will take the Baltimore Ravens minus 8.5 in Cleveland. AJ, your thoughts?
Yeah, 8.5 is a lot of points, especially the home team. But yeah, give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens 8.5. I don't know. I think Jameis is going to make some memorable plays. That'll be fun to watch. But yeah,
Memorable.
Give me the Ravens 8.5-point favorites. What was that, Gump?
Said memorable plays will do it.
Yeah, it will be
It
memorable.
will,
Yeah.
for sure.
I didn't
yeah,
say
those
good or
sweet-
bad. I said
those
memorable.
sweet socks he was wearing, I'm sure they're going to do it.
Those weren't socks. Those were compression sleeves
Yeah,
around
go.
both his feet and his
Yeah,
calves.
it looked great.
Doing
Doing it at the press conference was certainly something for Jameis, but that's Jameis Winston football. The only thing that's memorable for me is how they all, and once again, I respect them being good teammates, but that was stupid. The way they all handled that situation was stupid. And I think football gods will punish them. So give me the Ravens. Eagles, Bengals. You know, Eagles fresh off feel-good story with Saquon Barkley pounding the New York Football Giants. So much so that he said, nah, I don't need to break a record. Let the young guys play. You know what? Let's do the tush-push. Let me help Jalen score a touchdown. I don't need to score another touchdown. Bengals favored by 3 at home. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles on the road in Cincinnati. AJ, your thoughts?
All right, yeah, this would be. I've been waffling on this because the Eagles and what they're doing, and you see all the behind, like the mic'd up Saquon thing. Like, is this guy the perfect teammate and what he's doing, especially on the field? But give me the Bengals minus 3 at home. I have faith in what they're doing. I think Lou Anarumo on the defense is going to get things going, and Joe Burrow and them. They've been rolling.
We knew AJ was going to pick Cincy.
Yeah, of course, sticking with Ohio, but that's a weird line. That I mean, I guess it's minus 3 and it's plus 100.
It could be flipped, right? Couldn't they flip this?
Yeah, that's a weird line.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about it. I'm just taking it and moving.
Smart.
Yeah.
Falcons, Bucks. Falcons favored by 2.5 in Tampa. Remember, Tampa, no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin, multiple injuries across that team that they were buzzsawing around. For that reason, give me the Atlanta Falcons on the road in a tough NFC South matchup, AJ.
Yeah, another interesting one without their stars on the perimeter here for Tampa Bay. But you know what? I got faith in Bake in the squad. Give me Tampa Bay at home with the 2.5 points.
I like Bucky Irvin to go crazy, too. In the
Bucky, Tucker, McMillan, the kid from Washington.
What's
who's
the
playing
tight
wide
end?
receiver.
Tight end
Cade
made
Otton.
Yeah, he
Cade
made a ton of
Otton.
tough catches when the game didn't really matter too much.
Rashad White was back last week, had 2 tuds.
Packers favored by 4 in Duval. Ty, what do I need to think about here, pal?
I believe Jacksonville is 32nd in the league in turning over teams, and that's kind of been, Jordan Love's MO is that he's been turning it over, albeit, throwing a lot of touchdowns. So we talked about this yesterday. I think this is a good opportunity for Jordan Love to play a very clean game. Maybe no interceptions, no turnovers, and then obviously the Jaguars have been turning it over a bunch, and the Packers lead the NFL in turning over the other team.
What did Jacksonville do last weekend?
Jacksonville, they played in London. They had a pretty good game.
They won. Did they win or lose?
They won. Yeah, no, they won. That was a victory for them. Their second win.
Right? Did they win by a
Who'd
lot?
they beat?
They beat fuck.
Who was it?
Who'd they beat?
What's it rhyme with?
I think.
Who was it?
No.
Who Jacksonville just beat? They just beat somebody, right?
Shit.
Big? Who was it?
Chiefs? Was it
They
Chiefs?
beat the shit out of a team. It was like 9:30 in the morning too.
It's crazy, yeah, because it was over in
Like pounded, just fucking.
in England.
Pound.
Tank Bigsby was pounded.
Who was it? Was it the? It was the? Oh, it was the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
They beat the Patriots.
Yeah, I woke up and watched that. Yeah, yeah.
How'd you forget?
Just so much ball after 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's just like that. The first one you always forget your first.
So the Jags are hot. They're off. They're coming in hot.
Yeah, I don't know if they're hot per se, but they're playing good ball.
Yeah, you do forget your first, and sounds like that is Drake May's idea. He needs to forget his first start
And second.
And his third.
And maybe his third. Maybe his first season he needs to forget.
No, but he needs to learn.
He needs to remember his lessons, but forget
his losses.
The reason they are lessons.
Remember lessons, forget the losses.
Yeah.
Move forward.
Well, I forget what the line is. It's like, remember the lesson, forget the event.
Okay.
Boom, that's what it is.
Wow.
Remember the lesson.
You forgot this one.
Yeah.
I don't care how hot the Jags are against the Patriots. Going to be tough for me to pick them unless they're playing the Indianapolis Colts in Jacksonville. Give me Green Bay, favored by 4. AJ, your pick.
Yeah, give me Green Bay, favored by 4. I thought the line might be a little more, actually, than this. I'm glad. Also, you guys, is there a lot of activity where you are? We've heard sirens and cranes and things backing up all day.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of love. I've been hearing a lot of cops, too, yeah. I think there's a SIG moving around town.
Yep.
I think it's SIG got to go over there, SIG got to go over there.
Yeah, escorts everywhere.
Yeah, SIG there.
Police.
SIG here. Cignetti's here, police. Shut it down, shut it down. The cannon that went off over there was certainly something that surprised us a little bit. I don't think anybody was expecting that. You know what I'm not expecting? 12.5-point favorites at home, Detroit Lions. D-Hop just said, I haven't played any meaningful football in a couple of years. That tells me about the culture going on down there in Tennessee. That means they all know that ain't it. Give me the Detroit Football Lions at home, favored by 12.5. Foxy, how do we feel about this particular game?
Yeah, that's the most the Lions have been favored by since the Barry Sanders days, which is absolutely crazy. The only really notable thing to know is no Jameson Williams because of his suspension. But yeah, they're going to kick their ass.
Oh, yeah, he's suspended? What happened?
2 games. Pat, what could it be? 2 games for the performance enhancing? What is that?
Sounds like it was a 4-game appeal.
Okay.
Down to 2, maybe. I don't know, I'm just talking out of my ass here.
No, I think
Probably something.
No, so it was initially a 2-game, and they said that he could appeal that. So I don't know if that would change anything with that.
Interesting.
Everyone's assuming, all the internet people are assuming it's something like Adderall, but that's just, I have no idea.
Gas station Viagra,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah, it could be. Could be
Rhino
extends.
pills.
Could be extends.
And he came out with a statement basically saying he doesn't take any supplements, and he actually doesn't really know why he was suspended.
So maybe he just, maybe he had a
puts
pop.
ice cream on cheeseburgers.
What's that?
He puts ice cream on cheeseburgers. He's not doing any of that.
I wonder how that would taste.
Yeah, he puts a McFlurry on his burger.
It makes you fast.
Oreo.
The difference in heat and cold would be interesting.
So what if the science of those two coming together creates Adderall?
Were there? I mean,
or a boner pill.
Yeah, where you get bricked up.
Or a boner pill.
Were there onions on the McDonald's?
Hopefully not.
Good question.
You got
No, I don't think there was.
Might test positive for that.
I order extra onions on those quarter pounders with cheese.
Do you really?
No shit. Yeah, because the texture. No pickles, extra onions.
Extra crunch.
Please.
Bad.
And now I didn't even know I was ordering extra E. coli. Excuse me, can you toss a little extra E. coli on there? The fucking body needs to get checked on this particular Tuesday.
Made it through.
I'm taking the Lions, favored by 12.5.
There it is.
Wait, what is that?
Okay.
What's in that
little
drink?
dabble.
Oh, that's the ice cream or the McFlurry he put on the cheeseburger.
Yeah.
On his Mac dough.
Oreo McFlurry, though. He's got the right decision there with the Oreo McFlurry.
Yeah.
I guess that does create an Adderall effect whenever you're getting drug tested afterwards. We'll miss him for 2 weeks. I don't think Jared Goff will. I like the Lions by 12.5 at least.
Yeah, with all that being said, I like the Lions by 12.5 at home.
Colts, Texans, AFC South championship rematch.
Man.
Okay. If you recall, these two teams were dancing at the end of last year for a home playoff game, for a banner, for an opportunity to go on a run. And just like we fucking said it would, the Colts are hot. Colts are coming off a big win over a very healthy Miami Dolphins team. So I will take the Indianapolis Colts getting 5 points. Are you kidding me? Anthony Richardson's getting 5 points? You take that, you close your eyes, and you run right to the bank, AJ.
Yeah, I guess you do, but after hearing your, you kind of lay it all out there, I'm going to take the Texans at home. I like the home field advantage here. CJ Stroud, here we go. Let's do it. I know his numbers may not look exactly like people thought, but he's about to be on track.
Come on. Stroud off a loss at home.
Come on now.
Come on.
That place is going to be so loud. So loud.
Everything you just said, except you take the Texans to the bank. Is Joe Flacco playing? That's the only question the Colts need to be asking themselves.
No, Anthony Richardson's playing. He's the future of the Colts.
Yeah, the future. The right now is Flacco.
We don't know if that's true.
It should be.
They'll be able to slow down.
Anthony Richardson's going to set his feet this week, I heard. I heard he's going to set his feet.
I thought he was going to lean on the left tackle again and throw it like he did last week.
No.
Lean on the left tackle and hang out for a little. Hey, how's blocking going? Boom, in the dirt.
No, he's going to set his feet. He's going to make the layups, and then whenever he gets running, guess what he's going to do?
Boom.
Bring the boom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bring the boom to you.
That's AR basically style. It's basically. I think it's underhands.
He's got one of those. Yeah, they do that too.
Yeah, that's what AR does right here. And then AR is going to score, and he's going to do the spin.
Spike.
Boom.
Those are so fun. You remember that time
Sick.
when AR was going crazy, spiking? Here we go.
And he was like,
He did get injured a couple times. Somehow I don't like it, but it's going to be good. AR's going to do his thing down there. I think we're built for the moment. Is Jonathan Taylor back?
Yeah, he's full go.
okay. All right. Hold the phone. He might bring the boom.
That's why.
Cardinals, Dolphins. Gumpy, favored by 4. What is that all about?
Tua's back. We're good to go.
Is that what that's legitimately
That's
the
all
thought?
it is. That's our fucking. He's our team. That's our fucking team. Is him.
All right. I like Kyler Murray a lot. I like his answers. I like how he's been operating, but I guess I'll just take the Tua-led Dolphins to be the show on turf again, favored by 4 at home. AJ?
You know what? Give me Kyler. Give me the Cardinals. Getting 4. Come on now.
Okay.
You can't make them the underdogs, Gump. Let's go, Cardinals.
This is a full roll of the dice. We have no idea.
No idea.
We have no clue. This one is just a complete guess. Tone, where's the money at on the Cards Dolphins?
Let me look.
And Gump, what do you think
Just
about
because
this
it's
game?
public? Just because it's public, I assume it's going to be Dolphins because everyone will do the Call of Duty joke thing.
Cards.
Zach Sealer is out as well.
Cards getting 59% of the bets.
Below the threshold.
Well,
What'd you say?
Zach Sealer, one of our best defensive players, got poked in the eye at practice.
Come on, dude.
well,
Sealer.
Dennis
He's literally
Gardeck's out for the
taken
year,
over
Gump.
for-
Come on now. The Cardinals
Yeah,
lost their
Gardeck is out.
cornerstone.
Oh, sorry for giving you information, AJ.
Yeah, sorry.
Right.
AJ.
Sorry, Gump.
AJ.
My
Fucking
apologies,
asshole.
Gump.
Sorry, AJ. All right, I'll take the Dolphins. This is a roll of the dice.
Give me the Cardinals.
I'll take the Dolphins in Miami. Let's go. Jets,
Cardinals.
Patriots. What's that? You're taking the Cardinals?
Yeah, I took the Cardinals. Yeah, of course.
Are you okay? What's going on?
No, it felt like a no-brainer. I was just looking ahead to this next one. Jets 7-point favorites over
You're
Con Man's
laughing?
Patriots.
You're
How
laughing?
they?
You're
You're fucking laughing.
Con Man, how are you 7-point dogs at home? That's what I'm
the
worried about for
fucking
you.
gourd on you, Hawk. The gourd on you.
What is a
to
gourd?
laugh.
What's a gourd?
You know what
it
gourd
is.
is.
It's a
You know
pumpkin,
what it
I
is.
thought. A gourd is a
Yeah,
form
but
of
it's a
a
little
pumpkin.
baby one on you.
Yeah, more of a squash.
Yeah, maybe more of actually like a little
Cornucopia.
dried pickle.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Give me the Jets on this one. 7-point
Yeah.
favorites.
yeah,
7-point
me too.
dogs.
Yeah. The gourd
Yeah.
on us,
Fucking
big.
eat it. You wait till Drake May shoves it down your fucking throat, and we lose by 3.
That could happen. You know what? And then it
Bills,
jokes on me.
Seahawks. Bills favored by a field goal in Seattle. AJ, how do you feel about this one early?
You know what? Amari Cooper, Josh Allen, give me the Bills, -3.
I think DK is out as well. I don't know if that's confirmed.
I'll take the Bills. Let's go Saints, Chargers. Chargers favored by 7 at home against the New Orleans Saints. Ty Schmidt, why is this the case?
Spencer Rattler still projected to be the starting quarterback for the Saints.
Yeah. But Olave and Taysom Hill are back healthy. Maybe feisty.
Kamara's got a new deal.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll take Saints +7.
Wow.
In LA.
Good pick.
I thought about that. I like that pick, but give me Chargers. -7 at home. Here we go.
Carolina Panthers with Bryce Young and nobody else. Flying out to 5,280 feet above sea level to take on the Broncos, who are favored by 10.5.
Nobody else.
10.5. Nobody's playing for the Carolina Panthers, right?
Nope. Yep. A lot of injuries, especially at wide receiver, and pretty much every other position. It's a walking morgue over there.
I will take the Denver Broncos, favored by 10.5 at home, AJ.
Yeah, I'm taking the Broncos, 10.5 at home. That's a
defensive score, too. Defensive score for the Broncos.
Like that.
Okay. Surtain, is he back?
It was concussion,
Yeah,
so
it was.
maybe.
What was a concussion?
Maybe a Surtain pick six.
Oh, maybe as we get more exact, though.
Bama on Bama there.
Oh, yeah, because Bryce did go to Bama. We never asked Coach Saban about Bryce.
No. Right.
Now, we did talk about it when he got benched.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he talks about everything around it. He said this team stinks.
Yeah.
And then Andy Dalton played good, and everybody's like, what does Saban know?
What's that?
And then...
And now here we are again.
Here we are, yeah.
And then Bryce Young ram trucked him.
Yeah, he did.
In his car. And sprained his thumb.
Hashtag Ram. Happy to hear everybody's okay there, except for a thumb. Bears Commanders. Bears favored by 3. Zito, you got to be all pumped up about this.
Oh yeah, I think Jaden's not playing as well. I don't know if anyone has heard anything different, but
His mom said he's fine.
That's why. Yeah, that's why I said too. But I think it's gonna be a lot easier. But Mariota is very good against the Bears.
It's true.
What do you mean?
He has beat the Bears a lot.
He's a bear killer.
Okay, the bear killer Marcus Mariota.
Yep, that's what they say about him.
Taking the reins for the Washington Commanders. AJ, you taking Washington +3 or the Bears favored by 3?
Well, first off, happy birthday to Bear yesterday, Chuck's grandson, but give me the Bears -3.
Nice.
I'll take Washington getting 3 at home. Kansas City taking on the Raiders. This is an AFC West rivalry. 9.5 points feels like a lot. AJ, how do you like it?
9.5 is a lot, but man, don't the Chiefs? They usually don't cover, right? Is that what you guys tell
was
me?
in the past. That was in the past.
Give me the Chiefs.
This year.
Chiefs -9.5 just because they're the Chiefs.
I would take the Kansas City Chiefs as well because the Chiefs is still the Chiefs. Now Sunday Night Football. Dallas Cowboys.
Hell yeah.
San Francisco 49ers. Niners favored by 4.5 at home. Obviously, both these teams looking to have a big one in prime time. Conversations are getting loud about both. Can Shanahan ever beat a good defense? Is Mike McCarthy a big dumb dipshit? All these convos can get settled if you win on Sunday Night Football. Ty Schmidt, anything you're thinking about in this particular game?
The Niners are just so banged up. I think they said Juwan Jennings probably isn't going to play. Obviously, Ayuk gets hurt last week, so they're...
Debo should be back.
Yeah, Debo should be back, obviously, but they are just so banged up. But the Cowboys kind of stink. They kind of stink, and I would imagine... we're kind of getting to the point.
Stinky.
A little stinky. This is almost like it's kind of a gotta-have-it game for both these teams. I would like the 49ers in this one. Purdy's not going to play as bad as he did last week.
Yeah, and it is also National Tight End Day on Sunday, and Kittle is like the leader of that, I feel like. So if anyone's going to go off for the Niners, you might look to George Kittle for maybe if you're a 2-touchdown better guy.
Tone Diggs, where's the public at here for the Cowboys-Niners?
The public on the Cowboys-Niners is 50-50.
Wow.
Ooh.
Down the middle.
AJ, do you think Jerry Jones on his 105.3 The Fan hit on Monday morning is going to be a happy one or a sad one? What do you think?
Is Micah Parsons playing?
Did
Who's
not
out?
practice today.
Oh, man.
Hasn't practiced all week.
Give me the Niners. Niners -4.5 at home.
I would do the same thing, and that's the entire Sunday slate.
Hell yeah, boys.
Hell yeah.
Lucky to do it.
Let's hit them all.
Hell yeah, boys.
Good job, boys.
We did hit them all.
It's a good
Shout out to DoorDash, obviously.
Yes.
If you are anywhere, seemingly at this point, and need something, they got you. It doesn't just have to be a restaurant. You know, everybody talks about the restaurants are available at your doorstep. Yeah, that is awesome. That is fantastic. You don't have to go wait in line anymore, wait for a table. You don't have to get all dressed up, go in public. No, DoorDash will bring your favorite restaurant to your doorstep. Now, there's a little bit of a fee for that, but it's worth it, 1,000% for the convenience of it all. But it's not just restaurants, you know, and food. You can go on the DoorDash and open up the Dash Mart. You can get fucking anything. I needed hair trimmers the other day. Showed up in 5 minutes. Yep. Oh, I need a humidifier for my, boom, 10 minutes. I need toothpaste, a toothbrush, because I'm on the road. I forgot. Boom, Dash Mart's got you. DoorDash is like an assistant that's ready to go get whatever you need whenever you need it. Shout out to DoorDash, and shout out to this Feel Good Friday, brother.
Hell yeah. I just remembered I forgot my toothbrush. I'm going to have to order one on DoorDash right now.
Bingo. Because you don't want to be a scumbag down here.
No, I don't want my breath to be all stinky.
No, nobody wants to be stinky.
No, that would stink.
That would stinky. Mark Cuban's running for president, so I don't think we'll see him around here in Bloomington over the next 24 hours, even though this does feel like an IU event that, you know, potentially have it all be a part of. The eyes are going to be here. The eyes are going to be on this particular city, and Bloomington's going to show up tomorrow. I'm so pumped for game day tomorrow. Legitimately, so pumped for what the scene's about to be tomorrow. Because they like to have a good time here. Mm-hmm. These people like to have a good time here. I just learned from the president. President Witten came up here of IU. Pam, I believe is her name. She's been here for 4 years. I said, you know, what do I need to know about, like, the school? Like, I know, like, men's soccer team, good. Basketball team, obviously, we're very invested in women's basketball. Diving is, like, top 3 in the country. Swimming and diving is top 3 in the country. Football, here we go. Everything like that. She's like, business school, incredible. Largest medical school in the country here at IU. It's like, everything can happen here in Bloomington, and it feels like the football team can ignite quite a resurgence of love and passion for the Hoosiers, and we're right in the middle of it, and we're lucky for it, AJ. We're very, very lucky for it all.
Can't wait. Schwarber is going to kill it tomorrow as well. I bet those fans are, I don't know where your guys' set is going to be, but I bet they will, if they're not lining up now, they will start lining up very soon.
So I believe we have eyes on the set right out there. I think it's like right outside the stadium, so it should be loaded up. Our infield stadium setup is right there for like the last hour because the game kicks off at noon.
Yeah.
So anytime there's a noon game, obviously for fans to leave the game day set to come in the stadium, we move inside as well. We're going to be right down there in the corner. And then obviously we get to mosey around. Anytime that happens, we get to mosey around on the field. You know, we get to mosey and kind of just watch the game, take the game in, walk up and down the sideline. I'll be excited, you know, because Cignetti does lose his shit on the sideline.
See him in action.
I'll be excited for me to happen just walk down the side and be like, Coach, how we doing? Get the fuck out of here. Why is Pat McAfee on the goddamn sideline? We don't need that. Hey, get out of here. We're trying to win a game. So should be electric as college football has been all season long. The NFL slate's going to deliver. Football is the greatest. It's great to be alive. AJ, thanks for making the trip to Indianapolis.
Thank you, guys. Great to see the boys. Can't wait to watch the show tomorrow.
AJ, did you drive a 2500 heavy-duty Rebel Ram?
I do not, but I would in a heartbeat. I know you did. I pulled in. I didn't see it parked out front in its normal spot, and I said, oh, they must have taken that to Bloomington.
Well, that's because I'm not here, obviously. So that's my day-to-day. It's my first time I've ever driven it for an extended period of time.
Longer journey.
Yeah, it's about an hour and 15 down here. Let me tell you about this 2500 heavy-duty. This thing rode like we were on Clyde's.
Wow.
Okay? And whenever we had to get it a little bit because there was some traffic, had to make some moves, you heard that engine just light up and go. But the thing about it is it's a low hum, you know, because it wants to be classy whenever you're inside of it. Outside of it, though, you know we're coming. Mm-hmm. And when you're talking about riding high, boy.
Eye to eye with semis.
Eye to eye.
Whoa.
Jeez. Eye to eye with professional drivers.
We're
looking at them, tipping a cap. Tip of the cap. How you doing? Put your Johnson back in your pants, sir.
Hank.
Is that really happening? You think that's happening?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a lot of bopping happening on these roads by these
While they're
big rig
driving?
drivers.
Yep.
Yeah,
While you're
not?
driving?
Why not?
Yeah, man.
Get tired.
Especially with the advancements of technology, the ability to bop your meat while driving and watching some movie that maybe you weren't able to do back in the day. But we didn't see any bopping. No, we saw everybody was just trying to get from one place to the next, just like we were trying to do. Mm-hmm. We rolled through the rolling hills of southern Indiana. We saw the trees and the leaves turning, and whenever we got to Bloomington, we could sense and feel that it was alive. Mm-hmm. And it's live because Cignetti has lit this place up.
Hell yeah.
Get you a towel, get you a dream, get you a team. And if you don't have a college team, Cignetti might be the guy to start pulling for, because anytime he speaks, it's electrifying. we can't wait for tomorrow. All right, AJ, safe travels back to Columbus. I'm going to, what am I going to do right now?
Let's go St. Biz.
Yeah.
It's a little early to be doing all that.
It's not that early.
3 o'clock. It's time.
It's Friday, too.
It's 8 o'clock in Ireland.
Can you imagine, like,
Friday night?
So think about that. Hop, 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 hop. They're probably taking the biz over there.
I can't wait to get back over there. We were chit-chatting about that yesterday. Anytime we see that video of us in Ireland, it's like,
man,
God, I can't wait to get back there. And then Goodell said, we're definitely going to have a game here. It's like, okay.
It's a no-brainer.
Let's do that sooner than later.
How we go?
We can get back over there. Same exact flight time as Oregon.
Crazy.
That's wild.
Really? Wow.
So,
what's that about?
We should maybe
Connor?
go to Ireland more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should go to Ireland. You got the jet stream, you see?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're headed. And the world's round. I don't know if you guys heard this.
So they say. So they say.
Who's they?
The big wigs at Round World.
The big wigs at Round World.
Think about that.
I don't know who that is.
Think about that.
Round World Inc.'s got a lot to say.
Yeah, I do.
A lot to say.
Too much.
All right, we're out of here. This flat bill has been the worst one I've ever had in my head.
And they zoom
Looks
in.
cool.
It's good.
It looks cool.
Not because of the brand, just the build of the hat itself is the worst it's ever. I've had a headache for 2.5 hours because of this hat and the way it sat on my head. But it's an honor to wear the IU and represent the Hoosiers on this particular Friday, and we'll be doing that tomorrow. Boys, great work in the back. Way to go, boys in the back.
Boys.
Really good work. Bruce, really good work, man, out of you.
Hey, Bruce.
Big game tonight, Bruce.
Oh, yeah. Good luck, boys.
Let's go, Yankees.
Yankees.
Bruce, thanks for looking out for the Evan Foxy editing experience, too, whenever he's just rolling a camera.
Oh, you
Thank
find
you for
that?
doing
You
that.
find that Easter egg in there, Pat?
Yeah, little Easter egg for you. So Foxy obviously puts a camera up as people are doing things just so we can capture them. And then he has to edit through it all, to find this stuff and figure out what we're looking for. And Bruce has been looking out for him. You go right up to the camera and say, little Easter egg for you, Foxy, because it's just him and Foxy. Just him and Foxy at that moment. And then he does something absurd. He did a layup. As well.
Oh, look.
He did
So
little
clean.
Easter egg for you, and then he does this layup, this no-look layup. It was the most ridiculous. But I appreciated the thought, though.
Yep.
Like the concept is like Foxy's plugged in, scrolling through this video, trying to find something. And all of a sudden, he sees Bruce go. And then has to stop and have his moment. Hey, Bruce, you're a good guy, Bruce.
Bruce.
Appreciate it. Crazy layups, what they called me in the mean streets of Darien High School.
Crazy legs layups. The toxic table there. Good luck to your Yankees. Hope
Hell yeah.
Shohei
Let's
doesn't
go,
just
boys.
fucking go ballistic against you.
Uh-oh.
Not worried about it. Not worried about it.
Like Schwarber.
Just hitting dingies.
Dingy, dongy, gawny.
We got the real intimidator on our side. His name is the generational Juan Soto. As long as we don't run the bases like a bunch of drunks, we should be okay.
All right, well, good luck. LA's got bad traffic. Maybe everybody will get boozed up on the way to the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
You got Dodgers, Lakers,
Clippers.
USC Rutgers.
Yep.
Yeah, there's. I guess
And
it's
there was
like
a concert.
historically.
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 events going on at the
concert,
same time.
there it is.
So if you're trying to drive in LA, don't.
Yeah, just don't do it.
You're not.
Ever.
Get a scooter, get a bike, weave through traffic, risk your life, because that's going to be the only way you're going to get anywhere. Is what they're saying. That's not our idea.
That's correct.
That's just what they're saying. Tone, good work this week.
Thank you, brother.
You too.
Very good work, Tone. Hey, Gumpy, great work. Can we get a shot of this Canadian man here?
Can we see Gump?
Can we get a shot of this Canadian man here? He's got his own desk. Brosio, where are you going, Brosio?
Where you going, Brosio?
Come back.
Brosio, come back, Brosio.
Brosio, you don't want to be in the shop, Brosio? Hey, Gump, good work this week.
Gump.
Great work,
Good Gump.
everybody.
Work, Gump.
Great work. Great work, everybody.
Gump will
Look at
take
his
that
little
hat.
desk. Gump's got his own little
Sweet
desk.
spot.
Had a nice little tarp when it was pouring.
Aminos?
The laptop is great.
Got some
Did you cover it up?
Oh, yeah. Had to.
It was raining.
It was coming down pretty hard for about 15, 20 there.
How'd
We
they
didn't
find
blink.
it? That's
Nope,
that
near to
small.
take.
Good B-roll
What
by
happened,
you guys
Dick?
as well.
That was all Gump and Pat. I did not film a thing.
That's that new phone. It's got a good camera. Good camera on it.
Thank you to Jeff Keeg for showing us around the facility this morning.
Thank you,
Let us in
Keegs.
there. Thank you, Keegs. Jeff Keeke's been here 25 years. He's ready to die for the Hoosiers.
Want to play baseball.
Bit of a dog.
Decided he wasn't good enough to play baseball. Said, you know what? I'll have a good time as an Indiana Hoosier anyway.
Coach fucked him.
Connor, great work this week.
It was a good week. It was a fun week. You too, Pat.
Coach did fuck him. That did happen.
The guy could see the curveball. They didn't give him a shot. Then Schwarber came around. They were like, we don't care about Jeff Keeke. We got Schwarber. All right. Next week's Halloween week. Everybody fucking tighten up.
Yep, Thursday, Halloween show.
Boys.
Halloween show next Thursday, AJ.
I know.
Make sure you show up.
Get your costumes.
I know. I got a couple different options. Trying to figure it out.
What serial killer are you going to be this year, AJ?
Edward Scissorhands was not known as a serial killer, I don't think. He was a character in a show.
Well, then you were wearing somebody's skin. What was that, last year?
Yeah, a couple years ago, I had a mask on.
Weird.
I had a mask.
That was supposed to be me in the mask, right? That was supposed to be a mask of me?
Beal told you that. It was supposed to be a mask that I ordered on the internet.
Just wear somebody's skin mask? Like, what was
I
it?
have 5 other masks that I ordered, but none of them are nearly high quality enough, so I'm still going, still moving, trying to find other ones.
Well, it's coming up on Thursday.
There it is. Boom. No, I mean, it's definitely not supposed to be you. It's just supposed to be a mask that I thought was like a good mask.
What do you mean?
To be clear, I was supposed to be you.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it, I understand, but like I was never once thought of you when I ordered this mask.
Okay.
Well,
Halloween's coming up.
I never thought of imitating or trying to be you. But yeah, I got
Halloween's coming up, AJ. Let's make sure we get this thing.
Are you
Don't
situated?
be wearing what. Oh yeah, I got a couple.
Oh, okay. Good.
I got a couple. I'm actually sitting on it, waiting on. See if I can see it coming out of the hand.
Oh.
You know which one do I want to wear?
I look forward
when it comes Thursday morning. The issue is always the sound because it is a talk show.
Yeah, I've thought about that. Mine came in last night. We're good.
We're not gonna hear a word this fucking guy's.
No. I gotta cut some holes. In not places you're thinking of, Hawk, but I cut some holes.
This ain't a furry convention,
you
pal.
weirdo.
You weirdo.
I know you were going to say that, Honker.
Okay.
Go back to Ohio if you want to do
Oh,
a
you're
furry
wearing a ball
convention.
gag costume.
Oh, geez.
From Pulp Fiction.
Boom. Knew it. No, mine came in, though. It looks good.
Good luck to everybody for their Halloween costumes. If you want to watch our show in a Halloween costume on Thursday, go ahead.
Yeah.
You might not have an event to dress up,
Send us a picture.
you don't. If you don't have anything to dress up for Halloween, use our show as that opportunity.
Yeah.
Send a picture in. You could qualify to win $10,000.
Wow.
Okay.
Whoa.
That seems aggressive. I just said that.
Yeah, it does. That's awesome. Good. Hey, you can make some people happy, though. Some people that don't have friends to watch with, like, hey, I want to get dressed up this year. I got a great costume, but I don't have anywhere to go.
Boom. Then figure out a way to take a picture with yourself, whether it's a selfie with us in the back, you dressed up, and then you'll post it with a hashtag that we'll announce on Monday, and then you could potentially win the costume party.
PMS Halloween.
PMS
we got
costume
time.
Party.
Yeah,
we'll work.
Yeah,
we'll work it Monday.
We got time. We'll workshop it.
Yeah, we had thought this one through. Obviously, we had really thought $10,000 is
That's a lot. Dress up.
It's fucking costume.
I'm getting caught up. I'm getting caught up here in Bloomington.
We're back to the well.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a big prize. Big prize. Big prize next Thursday. All right, let's get the hell out of here. We appreciate all you for allowing us to do this for a living. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life, like Dude Wipes. We're in this thing together. Let's never forget that, okay? Team on me. Team on 3. Brosio fucking refuses. That's the issue.
Come on.
I fucking hate that.
Get it up.
I hate that guy.
Islands.
Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.